Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our LMU WEC series for round 8 of season 6 at SEBRING. This is our THERMALTAKE WEC series, and I'm joined tonight by Cam Thistlethwaite.
Thank you very much, Jaden, and please don't ever do that voice ever again. No one wanted this. Me and Bignett said don't do this, and he just ran with it. But yes, we're here at Sebring in the lovely Florida. It's not that lovely. It's basically like small Australia. But yes, here we are at Sebring for the final round of the WEC series. We're joined as well. We got Ben Hignett on the cams as well, and we're watching a man Rand go very sideways in the Peugeot. Jaden, if you speak like that again, I swear to God.
I won't ever. No, I'm joking. Welcome back, everybody. This is going to be an exciting race tonight at the bumpiest track I think I've ever seen. And we've got a big championship battle on our hands for both the GT3s and the hypercars. At this point, it's currently 2 points difference between Patrick Johnston and Max Ricker within the hypercars, and only 3 points difference between the two top GT3s of Shady Samuel and Emerald Name. So we're going to be watching out very close to those two different battles, which are going to be our main stories for tonight.
Yeah, it should be very interesting. I believe in Man Rand and Daniel Benefield have shown up again for this last round, or at least they have signed up. We're obviously on board with Benefield, with Rayan right now, and we're just taking on quality. Cold tires out here, really difficult. As I was having fun in the practice, thanks to the people at OAP on a practice service, as well as Saxon from some small little group of weirdos called Skill Issue Racing.
Skill issue racing, what a team. We saw how much of a skill issue we can have back yesterday at Zolder, but Zolder's always interesting, especially 3 rounds of reverse grids, interesting. Johnston currently with the fastest lap to start us off for our qualifying. Obviously these are our first flying laps, so anything can change, and Name doing very much the same within the GT3s with the fastest lap for those GT3s at the moment. Now I'm just having a look. Shady Samuel is down there in 19th right now. I believe he's in. Is that the Aston Martin?
He wasn't in Aston last race as well, and he did take the win at the last race at Portimao. So he's switched from McLaren to the Aston Martin. Maybe someone in the commentary booth should do that, right? To be honest, he might get some success that way. But yes, he switched to the Aston Martin, and he is very much in the championship fight. Very much ignore all these start times because, the quick times are high 40s for the hypercars, but it takes a long time to get the tires up because it is nighttime, and the tires take about 3 or 4 laps to actually get any temperature in them, and still, even then, not even at their best. So 10-minute quali is going to be really rough. We're not going to see the best peak times, that's for sure.
No, and it's going to be certainly very interesting. Lele not too far off with their battle in the GT3s as well, so we could maybe see a little stealing from that little battle. Also having a look right now, some more laps of obviously being set. Peter Papiano currently in first for the qualifying right now, with obviously still 5 minutes and 35 seconds to go. Currently on board with which McLaren is that?
He's changed his name. Finally.
Is that Emerald Name? Is that Emerald Name? Okay, so he's actually got his name as the right thing this time.
Yes, Emerald Nime, who was doing very quick times in practice. I think seeing him and Saxon practice, like their best times were low 50s. I want to say maybe 51, 52s. I'm trying to remember. Not actually that much, maybe about 54s. Sorry, about mid 50s I think for the GTs. But yeah, the temperature for everyone is really suffering. So you can see all the massive increases, the massive decreases in lap time already starting to happen with just the hypercars.
Yeah, Johnston now setting the new fastest 52.5, which is a full second, actually second and a half quicker than what he did before. So these times very quickly changing. I'm just still watching that GT3 board. No sign of Shady Samuel on there yet.
Yep. Johnston going back to the Cadillac, very much in the championship hype from the Alpine. I reckon we should have fixed no car changes for next season. I hate the flip-flopping between cars per round because one's more competitive than the other. I don't think it's it works for some if you can do that. It's not really something I like to do, but I think it's nice to have consistency in the cars across the whole season. You don't just change cars depending on the race in real life.
but fun. They're again, it's one of the first actual major seasons we've had for LMU, or second really, but so I can understand why it is done the way it currently is, and I do think they'll eventually go to the just stick with one car for the season. But yeah, it's probably just a lot easier for them at the moment to go, okay, you can drive whatever. We're on board right now with, I believe this is Shady Samuel in the Aston Martin, coming towards the end of the lap. We're just going to listen to this car come around these final few turns.
What does it sound like, Jaden?
It sounds like an Aston Martin.
Can you describe it in more detail, please?
I don't need to describe it. It's all there for everyone to hear.
I'm hearing impaired.
Well, engine noises, vroom vroom.
Thank you. Wasn't asking much. Bloody hell, Jaden. But yes, firing up the back straight as well in the Evo version of the Vantage GT3. Yep, nice to have the updated cars. Potentially you'll see a few more updates potentially over the year as well for Le Mans Ultimate. Good line through the final corner through Sunset Bend, a notoriously difficult bend on the track. A long sweeping right-hander crosses the line. I'm not too sure if he really improved. We didn't have his live timing. Up to, he went up to P3, 1.5 off Naim, and I'm not too surprised considering the practice I've seen Naim do in the server. I drove the Corvette a little bit. I wasn't able to get anywhere near Naim's times, but it actually feels lovely around here, the Corvette.
It looks like Benefield returning from the wherever he's been, and he's up there with 147.9, so good start there for Benefield for today's qualifying. Johnston a little bit behind, and I'm not seeing Ricker on there at all.
Yeah, not recognized so far. I think we've seen a few drivers really start to improve as well lately, like Papiano in particular in terms of outright pace, which makes it a little bit tricky for some of these Toyota guys that have been right at the front of the field. They're able to really do that, give it all. But obviously qualifying is only the one part of the race. We'll see what Max Ricker can produce in the Toyota. Not too surprised, obviously Benefield right there at the top. Nice to see him show up as well. He's only attended 2 rounds and he's won both of them so far, so he might be going for free on his attendance and win ratio. And the Ferrari, a very, very good car around here as well.
About to get a replay here right now of Admiral Name in that Corvette coming around towards these later ends of the track, and this is
bit of curb.
Certainly an interesting spot to have a spin, and very fun. Went for a little ballet dance and got the car straightened back up, and I would have taken it back to the pits for new tyres there, but I guess not really much time left in the thing. Only 50 seconds left of qualifying, so let's see what these drivers can do. Shady Samuel still 1.5 behind Admiral Name, so big gap there. Johnston now falling back to third, while Max Ricker is currently on a flying lap. Let's see if he can make up some time to catch up right on the back of Johnston.
Through turn 5 here is the trickiest corner, in my opinion, on the track, or one of, and there is quite a few of them. And the run down big bend to the hairpin, a very hard stop, breaking about the 400 yard, between 3 and 400 yard marker. Again, it stops nicely. Don't hit that yellow curb on the inside. It unsells the car through the traction, but it gets a good run. The LMH is always decent punch out the corners with their part-time all-wheel drive, all part-time all-wheel deployment, I should say, necessarily. Electric front axle, and it's going to run through turn 10 and 11, and an awkward sort of angled braking zone for turn 11 now. It is banked on the inside, so you can carry a lot of speed, but sometimes you can get tricked into carrying way too much, and subsequently understeer. Run into turn 12 and 13 potentially as well now. And looking pretty good for Max Ricker, and his numbers look pretty good. Obviously his target lap time, I think that's the pole time of the 46.8 right now. So they're going a lot quicker, to be fair. I was watching Patrick Johnston do times on his full fuel, so not too surprised he's going a few seconds quicker, and obviously that's Benefield and Rayan. But decent run. It's hard to really judge. I think this will be an improvement, but I'm not sure if it's going to be good enough for anything past row 2. And Ricker goes up to P4.
This is certainly going to be an interesting battle. So I'm pretty sure for this one, Patrick Johnston does need to finish with a car in between himself and Ricker, especially if they finish below first and second. So Johnston is going to be praying that Lucas Keys or someone in one of the other cars behind end up between him and Ricker for the end of the race. And we're still on board right here with Shady Samuel in the Aston Martin, coming around on his last flying lap, and we'll see if he can improve to maybe jump Admiral Name for the start of the race to get that pole position, but it looks like he might be staying in second. Yep. So it's going to be them two front row. So that, again, another very, very interesting battle to watch tonight. So keep an eye on Patrick Johnston, Max Ricker battle in the hypercars, and the Admiral Name Shady Samuel battle in the LMGT3s.
Yeah, good effort from some of those guys. Johnston P3, he was doing a lot of practice, and surprising to see Lucas, behind Johnston as well, considering the times he was doing. But obviously, it's with a 10-minute qualifying session and the tyre warm-up, it is really kind of no one's really getting the optimum really out of their qualifying, because it does take a really long time for those tyres to come up in this temperature. But it is going to be Benefield ahead of Ryan. Interesting to see in the wingless Peugeot, Ryan right up there at the front. But we'll see how those guys get on in the race. Patrick Johnston and Max Ricker, the two championship protagonists, going to make out road 2 with Lucas Keys just behind him and Peter Papiano. We've always seen those two very quick right up there at the front. Ben Vincent and Harry Lawrence make up row 4. And for row 5, I imagine we've got Donnelly, yes, and Xavier Eaton in the Ferrari.
Looking like a good lineup for those hypers. We're going to move over. Oh, we've still got more hypers. I didn't realize how many we had tonight. Packham and Marsh taking 11th and 12th for that one. And now we move over to the GT3s, where we've got Admiral Name taking out the pole for them and Shady Samuel in second place. On the second row for the GT3s, it's Ishan Lele with Thurkalini just alongside in that Porsche there. The next row after that, Saxon Hayes up there once again. Noah Reinhardt just sitting alongside, maybe a little bit of time between them, Lachlan Parkin and Benjamin Diabolds Curtis in that next row. Looking like a strong grid. Harry Smiles and Hani Curry only a little bit behind. So obviously going to be a good race between them. We've been seeing them fighting a lot. Dylan King, part of those battles quite a bit, and Steve Ferrugia? I'm close enough on either one of those. Chris Neville and Ryan Smith are towards the back of that grid there, I believe. And same with Neil Wood and Jackery Quack. I like that name.
Yeah, and if you're not up to speed, there's also the announcement that we're doing season 20, not season 22. We're doing, obviously, like all our new seasons have kind of been announced for ACC and Le Mans Ultimate. A few extra mini seasons as well in the form of the ELMS, I believe. So yeah, check all the details. We'll be starting off in early April, so keep an eye out on that
Formation lap has started.
Maybe I'll finally get a win. Woo.
We shall see. Will Jaden get his win?
Eventually, we're on for our formation lap now. So obviously there is collisions in LMU, which is different to ACC. So they do have to be a little bit more careful. And they'll just run around. Is this going to be a... Yeah, it's only 2 corners before, isn't it? So it's a short formation lap. So race should be underway very shortly.
Yep, and it will have a generated tire temp as well with the short formation, because it does, well, it simulates the full formation and sets them off from the short point, so it gives them some tire temperature as well. So they will probably into the 40-degree temperatures, potentially maybe even 50, so won't have the really cold tires. They'll be off to start. Shall I do the start, Jaden, or do you want to take it along?
Oh, yours.
All me, no pressure as well. But yeah, it's going to be a wild start here at Florida in Sebring for the final round. Who will take the championship? Will it be Patrick already? But it's already looking like we're going green. It is a good start from Benefield. Patrick trying to put the pressure on the Peugeot as well. Bad start from Max Ricker there. He's dropped down, I believe, behind Lucas Keys and potentially Ben Vincent as well, down to P6 for the technical championship leader at present. But great for Patrick Johnston right now, up still holding down P3. Goes wide though, but Lucas is right there behind him. I'm not too sure if Lucas is really gonna go past Patrick. Those two are really, you know, working together. I think he's got a rear gunner in the form of the Alpine driver. I don't think that's too much of an inside secret to say. And they're not going to send it into the final corner, but it is going to be Benefield ahead of Rand, ahead of Johnston, Keys, Vincent, Ricker into the hairpin corner right now. And they're all going along. Patrick looking a little bit, just trying to get things warmed up, and that potentially is going to give Lucas a lot to think about in the form of Ben Vincent in the BMW just behind him. But still, line formation. Looks like Nime is still actually ahead of Shady Samuel in the GT field. So Shady, I think, has made up a couple of positions. You've got a clean start. So Championship protagonists 1 and 2 for GTs as well. Be interested to see how things go. Demiano Furcolini in the Porsche just behind him, and Lele, I believe, in the Lexus just behind them as well. So pretty clean start all around for Sebring. I think everyone, is has a little bit of trepidation with this race, and I think they know, to be honest, it's just going to be about survival, not making mistakes towards the end. So may have seen a little bit of less aggression at the start.
Yeah, and I think everyone's done extremely well for that. There's some battles going on throughout the grid at the moment, so we'll keep an eye on everybody kind of going on, but these obviously are the main ones to watch, which is Patrick Johnston and Max Ricker, as well as Admiral Name and Shady Samuel for their battles tonight. The gap's not too far between any of them at the moment either, to be fair. Ricker's only just a little bit behind because he's now stuck behind Vincent and Lucas Keys. And Patrick will be probably praying that those two stay in between the two of them. Emerald Name, Shady Samuel, only less than a second between those two, so a good battle going on there. And it looks like Ricketts looking for a move on Vincent at any time now. We have had a couple of yellow flags go out, so I think we're going to get a replay soon of maybe an incident. I'm interested to see what happened. And here we go, we're going into it right now. And we're on board with the Hypers.
I think that's Donnelly.
That's Donald, yeah, going wide, getting onto the grass, and
the Persia goes off.
And Xavier Eaton manages to get around without clipping him at all, so that was very good avoidance by everybody else. That was pretty dangerous. Not sure what they'll do there, but that did not look too great. Back on boards with the GT3. This is Thurcolini sitting behind Shady Samuel, not actually far behind. So now Shady doesn't have just the issue of Admiral Name in front, he has the issue of Thurcolini, who is going to be looking for a position tonight.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see. I'm curious what happened to Peter Papiano. He obviously qualified in that top 6, but dropped all the way down. It looks like he was already potentially further down the field when we saw that BMW rejoining, so may have been the big loser when it comes to the start, unfortunately. But yeah, we saw the Donnelly going wide and rejoining. Thankfully, not too bad, but looks like it kind of scared Peter off track a little bit. And Vincent now, who was all over the gearbox of Lucas Keys, has now dropped back quite a bit as well, while Patrick and Lucas have dropped back from the two leaders, as well as Benefield and Ren, absolutely, just flying off in the distance at the front. 45-minute race, and we're not expecting really any stops. 45 minutes should be doable for any GT or prototype alike, so it'll be interesting to see how this goes on. Difficult to make a move done around here. Dare say probably pretty easier than we had at Zolder last night, but should be interesting to see. And obviously traffic will be probably the big deciding factor. I imagine we're probably a few laps away of already catching that GT traffic.
Yep, and it is certainly looking interesting because a lot of the field has changed up since the start. I think a lot of positions lost and gained. I'm not sure if people just had a pretty bad start here and there, as you were saying about Papiano, all the way at the back, and we even saw Donnelly Goff and still in front of Papiano. So I'm very interested to know what happened there for him, but as you said, it could have been just a very terrible start for him. Max Recker losing now quite a bit of time to Patrick Johnston and Lucas Keys. So it looks like Patrick's in the clear unless he makes a mistake for now. Benefield taking the lead by 2 seconds already is a good amount for the first 5 minutes of this race. So good start. And we've got a replay here of the hypercars. This is the Peugeot. Avoiding that other hyper, and he's come off and just had to rejoin. I believe that would be Papiano there, because that's the only Peugeot that I can see. So he's just had some hard luck with getting caught up on the grass trying to avoid. Max Ricker has managed to get past Vincenter as well. I've just seen that on the timing board. So I'm guessing that's just happened in the final few corners of this track. So that's going to be good for Max Ricker's race. But now he has to watch out because Vincent is going to go back for a move soon. Vincent not going brave enough for a move there. I'm guessing a little bit too far back. They're moving up towards the T1 now as they head around that final corner. Vincent not close enough for a move again, so it looks like Max Ricker has made that move pretty safely. We've got a replay here of the move being done. Let's see if there was a mistake here by Vincent. Oh, big slide and a snap. So yeah, that makes sense for why Max Ricker is now in front of Vincent. And yeah, good pass there.
He's gone. He's gone again. He's falling down the field. There's already something else happened to Vincent, and he's not on the back of the Max Ricker right now.
He's pulled over.
Oh no, the wing is gone. He's found the wall. Oh dear.
And that's an RTG.
Yeah, that's back to the garage. Close the shutter gates. That is a well and truly done, unfortunately, for Ben Vincent in the BMW. Had a pretty strong start. Replay, thank you very much to Ben. So he's going into, I believe, turn 2 right now, and he just snatches the rear and also close to taking out the championship protagonist. Oh my goodness. Unfortunately, Ben does get going again, but probably going to quickly soon that he probably has a rear right puncture as well, and it does park it as such. And yeah, unfortunately, I did that a few times. It's so easy to do as you attack that braking zone into turn 2, carrying all the speed through turn 1, and it's so easy just to snatch the rear on the brake regen or the just locking up the brake itself. And unfortunately, who's that? That's Alpine. I believe it's Lucas Keys. What's happened to Lucas Keys? I believe at turn 15.
It is Lucas Keys. Oh no, that is not good for Patrick Johnston at all. Lucas Keys has had a moment or something. Has lost quite a bit of time there. That did not look great. Another thing of note really quickly before we maybe get any replays, Saxon Hayes has a 15-second penalty. And he's actually quite far down on the grid. I actually don't see his name anymore. But here's the replay of Lucas Keys right on the back. I think that's going to be Patrick Johnston in front. Gets real close. Oh, and just clearly got right behind and just lost it. And that's allowed Max Ricker to get past. So now Lucas, if he's wanting to help out Patrick there, it's got a little bit of a fighting battle an uphill battle to go on, especially with those tyres being damaged now from that slide.
Yeah, that won't help things at all. It's so easy to get a lockup done as well.
Xavier Eaton's out now.
Oh no, the yellow Ferrari. It's all saying 10 minutes into this race, we knew Sebring was going to take it. It's going to be a pretty atrocious race, and unfortunately, I think that is very much the case as a Battlefield and Ram. But yeah, it looks like Lucas just had to check up a little bit while also on the curb and just kind of unsell the cars. The BMW, I believe, is Chris Donnelly, and fires the wall in a very hard way. And gonna get going again. I don't think that car is gonna be running straight. I think he's gonna quickly find out. Yep, there it is. He's running down the wall. That steering is military. Can't just drive at normal speeds again. Oh, that's very silly.
He's clipped something on the wall and it's killed him
like that. Riding
and
down
that's the wing and everything gone. He's gonna that's gonna be probably a DNF there for.
That's very silly. Like, if there was another car near that could have been a very hard collision as well. The car was clearly damaged, and you can't just run it down the side of the wall like that at full speed. I get frustration, but yeah. Oh dear, oh dear. Thankfully, no one else was around. Hypercars are falling like flies right now. Jesus, Jaden.
I was very interested to see what happened to Xavier Eaton as well, because he's obviously had a DNF now. Yeah, there's Donnelly there at the bottom of the leaderboard with a DNF as well. So quite a few. Neville as well with a DNF in 32nd. So quite a few people not having a great time on the track tonight. It is a bumpy track, so braking in this very easy to have a mistake happen. And same with any kind of position on here. You hit the bump wrong, it's a bit crazy. We've got a bit of information about what happened to Xavier Eaton, and he's gotten a rollover at T1 of lap 5. So don't know how he's managed that, but it sounds like something he'd be able to do.
That is pretty impressive, and I'm seeing spoilers right now, but we'll get to it very quickly. Thank you very much to Ben. He's having to do a lot on the cams, but yeah, the hypercars around here, you're carrying so much speed, and the walls, they look far away, but you can hit the speeds the hypercars are doing. You can really find the walls very quickly. Yeah.
Very interesting.
And he's just lost it on the air, just taking too much speed at turn 1, lost the rear, and he's going to find the wall in slow motion. Obviously, thank you, Mr. Ben, and just, absolutely clatters through, and then goes over as well as the bodywork catches on the grass. see things a little bit weird. Obviously, Xavier is racing from the States as well. Just if anyone knows Xavier Ian, he is racing from the Americas, so probably he phased quite a bit through the barrier as well.
And the ground, as we're seeing him off in the ground as well. That is one way to end your race there, Xavier, so great work. Back on board with the GT3s now. Someone who's actually had quite a good race so far is Hani Curry, who's right now in 13th position, which is actually only, what is that, 5th for the GT3. So moved up a couple of positions and is doing very well to get up there. Hopefully no commentators curse for him, but we're moving on to another replay. McLaren versus Lamborghini.
It's Diebold's in the Lambo, and the McLaren, not too sure who it is, just goes for a spin on the exit. Sorry, it might be Noah Reinhardt, and just noses the barrier. That you can get away with that. That's fine.
Yeah, it should be fine. I'm pretty sure it kept on. So, not what you want to happen, but anything can happen, and it can be a bit dangerous. And I do see there's a battle on the secondary monitor, which we've just now got onto our main. This is an interesting one between the Aston Martin and the Mercedes, and the McLaren peeking around behind as well. I'm trying to figure out who that is.
Saxon.
That is oh, he's lost it!
Oh,
Saxon,
no. Oh, that's big steering damage for sure on the front right. But it does let Dylan King off the hook in the Mercedes. The McLaren just behind him, but yeah, just got a little bit wide there, and unfortunately, it just found the barrier. Commiserations for Saxon there. I think we can put that one on us.
Yeah, we shouldn't have been watching. That's how bad. Move back to the hypercars. Johnston still decent gap on Ricker, but Ricker's got a decent gap on Lucas Keys. So at this stage right now, Max Ricker will, I believe, if the standings stay the same, obviously there's 32 minutes left of the race, but if the standings still the same right now, Max Ricker would win the championship.
Yeah, Lucas really not helping his mate out there, that's for sure. Maybe too focused on his test that he was kept talking about all last night. Yeah, just filters. Unfortunately, had that spin. I think he was just trying to not go into the back of the Cadillac. And you know, when you're just trying to, when you're trying to arrest the speed while you're doing mid corner, you unfortunately can just really send the weight transfer to the rear, and just unsettle the car like that for a small. But the spin wasn't at too high of a speed, so I'm hoping the flat spots aren't too bad, but they can be pretty brutal in this game, as we see Daniel Benefield already cycling through the track. I'm going to take a moment before anything kicks off right now, but just to announce those series I was talking about before. Season 22 of Academy is starting up in Le Mans Ultimate, so there'll be 8 round season, I believe, potentially running alongside. I'm not too sure. Bear 9 for that one. But yeah, Academy season. It's ACC season. I don't know how I got it. But sorry, yeah, season 1 of the Academy on LMU, not season 22. But yeah, that'll be starting on the 6th of April as well. I think that's still the Tuesday. I can't remember the Academy day is. But thank you to everyone who runs that side of things. And yeah, if you want to get involved, if you LMU, you don't know where to start, have a look at the Academy series. Be kind of for people to kind of learn the game a bit more, obviously, before potentially you want to do the main series. I see what happens. I think there's going to be a hyperlink, but we do have an ELMS series, and we do these running Friday. I'm trying to get the details, but for some reason the ELMS series sends me to the Academy series webpage on the site. So, but yeah, I believe ELMS, we're doing an ELMS series on the Fridays as well, and I think LMU will have another season as per normal in its normal time slot here on Thursday night, early Thursday night as per usual. And I believe the ACC splits are going to be running in their same format, while iRacing goes full-time on Wednesday nights, Jaden.
That is true, and we've got a little battle on here between Lawrence and Keys. So Keys obviously having a little bit of trouble with those tyres at the moment, and it's allowed Lawrence to catch up. So Lawrence right on the back of Keys, you can see how a little bit shaky, obviously. A little bit of that is the net code, but it is a lot of, obviously, damage on those tyres again from that big slide he had earlier. But we'll see what he can do, and we all know that traffic can play a big factor into how a race does go, especially for these hypercars, and on a track like this where you have the multiple where the racing line crosses across the track multiple times. It makes it a bit difficult for the hypercars to just slip through sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be honest, it will probably still be a lot easier than it was at Portimao, as we saw the absolute carnage that we did last week in Portugal. But yeah, I think here a little bit better. You got a few more little straight points like this where it all kind of converges to one line. It does make it a little bit tricky. You have to be aware, as you see the Alpines now siding through the BMW GTs. I believe those two BMWs are not too sure, actually. Harry smiles, and I'm not too sure. He's just ahead of him. I imagine it's Curtis is a switch to a BMW, so another car change for him. BMW pretty decent in this game, generally all around more competitive than it is in ACC, and definitely one of the more friendlier cars a little bit. Lucas Keys now getting through Hadi Corey as well. I believe Ashant Lele just up ahead of him as well. But good stuff from Damiano Fercolini, really up there, holding P3 on his own in the GT class. I think he's had a bit of a mixed season when it comes to Le Mans Ultimate, and right now it's still holding down pretty well. I should really hold my tongue because I'll probably cast the commentary die on him. But as these guys just get through Ashant Lele's Lexus as well. But yeah, definitely a little bit easier to get through the traffic, that's for sure, at this circuit.
Lucas Keys borrowing a bit of Ishan Lele's Lexus to kind of hold up Harry Lawrence there, because he stayed alongside for the turn-in and then kind of just sat right in front of Ishan Lele, and there was really nowhere for Harry Lawrence to go for a solid few turns there. Also having a look, Admiral name Shady Samuel still, I believe, in a decently good battle. There's a bit of a gap now between them. I'm just trying to see how far back Shady is. It looks like, yeah, just that little bit. I think that's just over a second or two behind. So a little bit of work for Shady Samuel to do to catch back up. Shady Samuel currently leading the championship by 3 points. There's a 3-point difference between them. And for Johnston's one, Max Ricker's leading the championship by 2 points. So as I said, there's got to be it's going to be a interesting championship battle for both of those groups tonight. And we're looking right now as Max Ricker has, I believe this is Lucas Keys, right on the back of him again. So Max Ricker having a little bit of trouble getting through the lap traffic, and we'll see what Lucas can do to maybe potentially get a pass here on Max Ricker.
It wasn't that far behind, but it looks like Ricker's really lost out. As you can see, the gap between him and Johnston's really opened up, and now Lucas will be doing his best to try and undo the damage he did before and get back between them, because I believe that will be the deciding factor in the championship. So they finish line and stern on points. I believe, yeah, Ricker will still take it ahead of Johnston, as he's 2 points ahead in the championship. Also interested to see how that looks between Naim and Samuel, because I believe with Naim being 3 points behind Samuel, I think that's a similar stage where he has to finish position ahead of Shady Samuel, and it's currently potentially not going to be the case right now. Do forgive me, I'm not actually up to date on the point scoring, but let's see, Lucas getting a real good run. Max Ricker goes defensive into the hairpin, but it's going to be a big ask from the Alpine to get it done. But does the Toyota get it stopped? Yes, he does get nice on the exit. There isn't that much place to maneuver on the exit, so no crisscross for Lucas, but he's still going to be right there and potentially having a look now into turn 10 potentially. Ricker goes defensive and really squeezes on the outside. I'm not too sure if that was a bit of a move on the braking, but we'll shall see whether the Alpine was alongside. But yeah, definitely kind of that door did close, that's for sure. Let's see how that one goes. You definitely need to be careful with stuff like that, because there's no point throwing your championship away just doing silly little maneuvers. We saw, to be honest, a lot of that last night, quite frankly, from I think every championship protagonist in Split Yellow, I'm not afraid to say. There was definitely penalties galore at Zolder.
Yeah, look, things happen, especially at these last races of the season when the races, when it's so close, and anything could happen, especially in those reverse grid ones. We're going to see an interesting one for Red tonight between Chris Cooley and Brendan Ellis, because I believe there's not much between them as well. But we're watching as Lucas tries to find a bit more time in that corner. Actually, it looks like he gets a little bit slidey, so loses time to Max Ricker in that corner. But Lucas is still behind Max Ricker here, not too far of a gap between them, maximising the track right against that wall for the entry of the turn, and then going out very wide on the exit, as you need to do. These cars looking good. It looks like Lucas has high beams on them compared to Max Ricker. They have very bright lights.
Yeah, they indeed are. We will say with LMU, like the lights just have one setting. They don't really have a low beam, high beam. And the Lucas Key's getting really close again. Ricker goes to the inside, and they're gonna actually be alongside, but it's really gonna be difficult for Lucas Keys to get anything done. He has to rely on him going wide, but even so, if Ricker goes wide, he just still gonna have track position for the exit. And the run again down to turn 10, deja vu like we did last lap. And Ricker goes defensive again, and this squeezes off again, and a touch. It's literally deja vu, literally last lap. And he moves over again. I don't think Lucas is going to be too happy the way he's moving across. Whether they feel Lucas even has a ownership on that space, but it is kind of moving under braking. I have to say, he is going from the middle of the track back over to the left, so it's definitely a bit of a squeeze. We'll see what the stewards say if there is if the numbers have been called.
Third time's the charm for this little battle here. I wonder if that's going to happen again. I have a feeling if it does, Lucas might end up, well, one of the cars might end up sideways if that kind of situation happens for a third time. It's certainly going to be an interesting one. We've only got 23 minutes left of this race, the championship deciding race for these cars. And this is an important battle for Patrick Johnston's hope of winning the LMU Hyper Championship for season 6 of the LMU series.
No immediate traffic up the road, and the Toyota definitely gets off the last corner pretty well. Especially, you know, the LMHs, which is what the Toyota is, has got that part-time electrical front-wheel drive, which helps get the power down out of that tricky last corner, which is incredibly bumpy. The Lucas's car just has to put all its power through the rear wheels. And yeah, it does suffer a little bit, but you can see as well, like Lucas definitely got Ricker on the ropes a little bit. And I'm just waiting for potentially traffic. The next bout of traffic might be the deciding factor between these two. But it's definitely let Johnson get up the field. Oh, Lucas with a snatch on the brake. I'm not too sure if he went a little bit too deep or he was just caught the rear brakes, but really left Ricker off the hook there.
Kind of watching. I was just watching Ricker's line as he comes into this turn where they've had so many issues in the past couple of laps, and he definitely holds it tighter when Lucas isn't behind him to that left side. So there definitely is a case. But here we've got a replay of Lucas entering into this hairpin corner. Let's just see. He's under. Looks like he's
snatched it.
Yeah. That's not really that's not what you want to do at all in that situation. That could have been devastating for him and Ricker if he didn't get that under control.
Yeah, it looked like he potentially snatched the front left because we saw the lights come up in the cockpit which show up when you lock a front brake, and we saw it kind of snatch the front left, and that one did lock a little bit. Very easy to do that corner. That braking zone is incredibly bumpy, and that just kind of just unsettled the rest of the braking zone, and obviously had that later snatch on the rear in the second phase of it. But yeah, it was we kind of saw that how easy it is to do. It's one of the worst braking zones. It's one of the heaviest braking zones, and it's one of the the bumpiest as well. But yeah, good catch from Lucas Keys. Hopefully fights to live another day, lives to fight another day. My dyslexia is starting to show in a little bit. But yeah, Chevrolet, just a little bit on the back of Damiano Fercolini. And yeah, as I said, Fercolini holding down that P3, but potentially we'll see if the Lexus can do anything about it right now.
I will say both of what you said there kind of does make sense. Fighting to live another day and living to fight another day both work for that situation there. He definitely fought the car to live. But yeah, there is a decent sized gap, as you were saying, between Emerald Name and Shady Samuel. Thurcolini actually quite fallen off with Lele not too far behind. So Thurcolini maybe just not having that same pace as those front two runners, but Lele, who we've seen has been very quick all season, in those first two races didn't really have the run to get those podiums, had a few issues here and there, but has come back and actually done really, really well this season. Currently in 4th place, just behind Benjamin Curtis, only 31 points behind the leaders right now. So not much of a gap between Ishan Lele and the top two there in the field. So this is important for Lele's battle, because this could be the reason why Lele gets 3rd in the championship as well.
Yeah, Lele's had some run luck. I know he's DNF'd out of P2 twice on the last lap, I'm pretty sure, this season, or in the closing laps. He had one at Monza, where his just game crashed, and I believe he had another one not too long ago. I forget which race.
Was it Spa?
Potentially Spa. Yes, potentially. I know he's had 2 instances where he's been in the top 3 and he's DNF'd pretty much in the closing laps, which is considerably must be the most frustrating thing ever, I imagine. And I was going to say, you know, Nime, we talked about like the difference between Johnston and Ricker in terms of the championship. He needs a car between them because of the points difference, and Nime being 3 points behind Shady Samuel, I think is going to be, you know, I'm not sure if he's going to take it with a Shady there in P2. So that might be unfortunate. I do know Nime had that race at Spa where he got 3 drive-throughs. So I think that might have been the bigger factor in this championship stake. But unfortunately, it might come down to this. But let's see, Lucas Keys already on the back of Max Ricker again.
Once again, we get to watch an intense battle between these two. Again, Lucas...
Not Lawrence.
They have. Where has Lawrence gone? Lawrence has gone a lot back. I wonder if Lawrence maybe had a moment a bit earlier on, or has struggled just a bit more with that traffic, because he was in the background of this battle just a little bit ago. So I assumed he'd be quite easily onto the back of Lucas after that big snap, but it seems maybe an issue has happened there for Lawrence himself. And here we go. Yeah, it actually has fallen back a few seconds now. So not really great for him and what he's wanting to do at the moment. Harry Lawrence currently sitting 9th in the championship, only 1 point behind Iman Rayan. So I don't believe he's going to beat Rayan in this race, who's currently in 2nd. But he has not had a bad season at all and could move up a few positions. Here we go. Here's Lucas Keys looking for a move, going down the inside. This is the final turn? No,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
final turn. Oh, Max Rickard going, he's clipped the grass. He's still there alongside, and it looks like Lucas Keys has taken the position. Max Rickard looking for a space that didn't really necessarily look like it was going to be there. But we're going to see if we can make a move back here on Lucas Keys at any point now. It goes a little bit wide. I think he missed the apex a little bit there, so a little bit of a struggle. But Lucas Keys has just done a beautiful move there to put that gap back in between Johnston and Max Ricker. So the Patrick Championship is back on. We'll see if it does stay this way. I'm interested to see what Max Ricker can do.
Replay here now on board of Ricker. So he goes for the crisscross, and there is a Toyota space gap in the middle. There's a little bit of a touch between the two of them. Lucas wasn't expecting that necessarily, but I don't think the Toyota got the best run, even with the touch, regardless of the touch, to be honest. I don't think it got the best run. The inside of that corner is incredibly bumpy. So you're just taking that tighter line as well, so you can't get the pattern. Oh, he gets a little bit of a rear swapper with the McLaren just in front of him as he goes into the braking zone. So unfortunately, that has really affected Max Ricker, and he's really fallen back from Lucas Keys. But I think it's a fair move from Lucas going up the inside, and there's a fair attempt from Max Ricker to get the crisscross back under. But that, whether he felt like he was squeezed or, but as I said, the inside of that corner is incredibly bumpy. I'm not too surprised he didn't get the best run off of it as well. And on board now, I believe it's Curtis with the BMW just behind him, I believe, of Harry Smiles, I want to say, as these two now going for a run back the Ullman straight to the corner that we just saw Ricker and Lucas Keys have their moment, and they're going to go side by side. Oh, I thought there was maybe a touch, but the BMW still on the inside. He sweeps around the outside, does the orange BMW of Smiles, and that's potentially still going to be neck and neck, but unfortunately massively loses that. Oh, he's coming to a stop. What's happened to the second BMW? What's happened to Smiles?
Not a good situation there. We'll get a replay of that soon, I assume. And having a little bit of trouble getting around T1 as well. Actually looks like he's still going a little bit slow. Those cars behind coming up very, very quickly. So we'll get a quick replay very, very soon.
Get just behind them as well. But yeah, it looks like it was a good run from both of them into that corner. So he was ahead, but goes a little bit wide, and Diebold is there on the inside, so he has to run wide. He's in neutral. What's happening?
As he's
got no drive.
He's not realised either there that he was in neutral, or he has. Maybe having an issue.
How he even got to neutral from.
Could have dropped down in gears and accidentally shifted to neutral, and then the shift up hasn't worked.
Considering like the speed of that corner, I'm surprised
he's had to stop. He's had to stop to get back into first gear, so I'm guessing he's that's been an accidental shift all the way down to neutral. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, I'm surprised he even got down to, like, because he must have gotten down to first gear or something like that in that corner, which is quite surprising, the speed they were doing. I'm surprised the car would have let him get down to first, so probably should have been looking at the instrument binnacle at the start of that replay. But yeah, I'm surprised he even got down to first gear to even engage that neutral, because he couldn't have gone for it. And yeah, I believe he had to stop as well to get the car into first gear, because the car was rolling. I don't think the electronics will let you put it in first gear while the car is rolling, because you probably got to launch the engine doing that if you don't have a clutch bapped, I imagine. And I'm trying to see spoilers again. But I give, I have to check myself. But yeah, Fercolini right now still really under threat from Chandler. Like 13 minutes to go. It's gone quick this race. So 40 foot, it's a bit of a shorter race right now. But don't go anywhere. We've got split red with 20 minutes in not too distant future. Replay here, thank you. Oh, so the Mercedes goes to the inside, and I think Harry Lyons maybe a little bit confused, and then they have a little bit of a door rub on there. No, maybe Harry Lyons didn't read that one as well. There was a flash of the lights, I think, from both of them there, and I think they were either too happy about that one. Yeah, a little bit silly.
Yeah, look, that's definitely one of those corners. I'm not sure what the actual racing line is there if you do take the inside that early on, or how it normally goes. So if any call is going to be made, it would normally be against the hypercar, unless that GT3 has gone off its racing line and caused that issue. But yeah, if nobody's called, then I don't think it's going to be much of an issue. Shady Samuel actually 2 seconds now behind Admiral Name, so it is very much looking like the championship is Admiral Name's favour at this moment, because I believe first place is still earning quite a lot of points, but anything kind of past that doesn't earn enough points unless you have a person in between. So I think Admiral Name will steal the championship from Shady Samuel at this current stage of the race. I'm not too sure how the points work. I will double check with Matt in just a minute.
Yeah, we'll have to double check that one. So yeah, 3 points behind, and obviously 9 is ahead behind in the championship. Not too sure, really hard to call. And yeah, so I don't have the point structure in my head right now, and not too sure if pole or qualifying or pole position has any factor like it does in our ACC series. Do forgive me on that one. That's my bad on that one. And obviously drop rounds do have to be kind of somewhat considered as well at the end of this. The current point standards we are looking at do have drop rounds considered. But Lucas Keys, Shenlai going to capitalize on the hypercar going through and try to send it up the inside of Damiano Fercolini, but doesn't get the move done right now. And on a half send, Damiano saw him coming as well, but then going to give him a good run on the back run through Big Ben corner into the hairpin as the hypercars are still coming through. Damiano goes defensive, Ashan goes to the outside, but like we saw with the hypercars of Lucas Keys, nothing you can be able to do from the outside there. Racing line takes the winner, that's for sure, but still gives Ashan Lele a really good run in the Lexus. That's splashing, I believe, the hypercar behind him, Harry Lawrence. He ducks out last minute, potentially going to have it up the inside. He's going to draw alongside into turn 10. It's going to still up the inside. Damian holding it around the outside, going to have the inside with this corner now as it switches back across, still side by side. It's going to go in the favor way of Ashan Lele for this next corner though. Right, there's a bit of a wheel banging there, and unfortunately the Porsche is going to come out second best in all of that one. And a little bit of a wheel banging on that entry. Not too sure about that one as the Peugeot comes through as well, but big fight.
If I'm just kind of waiting to see if I do have a moment, because they are very close still, Fercolini and Ishan Lele. I do have an update about the points, because this actually does make the championship all the more interesting. So first place earns 50 points within the championship, and second place earns 48. So there's a 2-point difference there. So where Shady Samuel currently is, if he stays in second and Admiral Name stays in first, Shady Samuel will win the championship, because it is currently by 1 point. For the hypercars, though, it's a little bit different. Because of where Patrick is, he's currently going to get 46 points for this race. If Max Ricker finishes 1 place behind him, they will draw within the championship, and it will be a matter of who had the best results, I believe,
which will go Max Ricker because Max Ricker's won a race and Patrick hasn't.
Yes, so it is a matter now of Patrick keeping that car between, because that will give him the 2 extra points he needs to win the championship by 2 points. So it is a close battle for these top 2 on both sides of the Hypers and the GT3. So this is a very important race for both of those. Admiral Name really needs Shady Samuel to have an incident here or something to be able to take that championship away, but it's looking like Shady Samuel is currently having a very clean race, and I really don't want to jinx him here for it.
So no qualifying points or fastest lap points as well to dictate this.
From what I'm reading, it looks like it is just position points. I can't see anything about. Oh, they do. Sorry, there is a fastest
that
lap.
Everything.
There is 1 point for the fastest lap. I don't see anything about quality points though. I'm guessing it's per category. They don't have the exact thing, and I'm not seeing anything about quality points. So it is just based off of fastest lap and position points. So this could still, if Admiral Name does win this and has the fastest lap, depending how they do the points, they will draw. And I believe Admiral Name has more wins than Shady Samuel, which
no, they're equal.
Are they equal as well?
No. They're equal currently, but if Name wins, he will take it because that's 4 wins to 3. They're both on 3 wins right now.
Oh, so this is an important race. So we'll see if Admiral Name is able to get that fastest lap and maybe win this championship by 0 points. Oh, no, the step!
Oh, as Damiano and as Chandler go for a spin through turn 17, the last corner, and they both get going again, but it's going to go ahead in the form, and there's some cones are going to take unfortunate action, but that one's going to the stewards for sure. It looked like the Porsche just had the nose up the inside, and he is redressing, and it is going to give it back to a Chandler. That's not going to help their tires for the last 7 minutes, but that's generally stuff there from Damiano. I think he felt at the fault for that one. Just a little bit of overlap, try to have the over and under into that corner. You can see the damage on the front left. It makes it very easy to see if there was any contact, that's for sure, as it pops in and out of the LOD. But no, the P2, Iman Ryan is off.
Oh my gosh.
So redo your point standing there, Luke D, because Johnston now is P2, up to P2 as something has happened to friggin' to Mr. Iman Ryan.
Things still stay the same. It's still 2 points. It's still the 2 points between each thing. So, but it's not like F1 where it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It is still the 2 things. Still 2 points between. So here's a replay of that.
Turn 11, I want to say.
Yep.
Turn 12.
Oh, too much
ground out. Yep. Exactly right. And just goes for a sorry spin. Gets going again. I think he would have had the lead to keep going. So.
Oh my gosh.
We get a slide. So he's just ahead of Patrick Johnson. You can see there in the Hertz Team Jota Cadillac just behind him. So potentially something happening into this last corner. Those tires would have been very hot, very unsailed, and I reckon this car is just going to give out. Yes, it is. And it's going to find the wall in. No, he didn't.
Oh, kept it off.
He thankfully spun early and didn't get to the part of the wall, the part of the corner where the wall really sticks out here, just on the left, as you can see. But that's falling behind Harry Lawrence, and then he finds the wall again. Yeah, when you have a spin, the tires don't want to get going in a hurry again. That's for sure. As you can see there, he's really getting out of things, and I get the feeling he's going to eventually just park it up. And we did see him last at Spa, and unfortunately he had some big shunts there. So unfortunate for Man Ryan, he's going to lose that P2, and looks like it isn't going to affect our championship standing, but eventually going to come to the halt for the pre-wing Peugeot, and got to park it up right there.
So by my calculations, Admiral Name, I've been informed, has the fastest lap currently. By just double checking my source here, it is by a good half a second for Admiral Name's fastest lap. So I don't know if Shady Samuel, while also having to hold off other people if he has to, or dealing with traffic, I don't know if Shady Samuel is going to be able to get that fastest lap back to stay in front of Admiral Name. So this is going to come down to who had the most wins through the season. And as you said, they are currently tied on wins. So if Admiral Name stays here and stays with the fastest lap, this is Admiral Name's championship to win.
Yep, and you know, I trust my logging because I do take down the winners and of each category after every race, and I trust I've got this correctly. But yeah, Shady did take the first win of the season. Then it was 2 to Amaral Naim and the Ashan Lele at Spa. So we can answer that. Ashan Lele did finish Spa in that case if I have him down as won it. But yeah, and then Shady is taking the win at Kota, followed by Naim again back at Fuji, and then Shady again at the last race at Portimao.
Well, this has been an intense battle between these two throughout the season. Obviously, some crazy work by the both of them to keep going. Johnston, Keys actually seems to be catching Johnston, but I feel like there's going to be not much of a battle between those two. And Max Ricker is a decent amount behind those two, so huge one. 15-second penalty for car 844 on lap 18. I'm going to have just a quick check of who car 844 is.
That Bercolini's number?
That is Damiano Cercolini.
Oh, ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. And Diebold is only 6 seconds behind him, so that's really, I mean, he did redress, but we do know, like, that's, you know, a redress is kind of a gentle, it's a sporting thing to do, but it won't actually affect whatever your penalty outcome is, which is, you know, been a long-standing, you know, kind of rule in things. You know, I like to, you know, if I know it's on me, I'll redress, even though I know it's not going to make my penalty any, you know, any smaller, that's for sure. Yeah, Lawrence getting close to Ricker as well now, so this might be a bigger factor in deciding that championship as well. It's already looked like it was going in the favour of Johnston, and I think Keys is going to play, probably going to give Johnston a bit more margin this time. But yeah, interesting to see how things go. Just over, you know, 2 minutes to go. It's actually gone by pretty quick, I have to say, Jen.
Yeah, it has. It's gone by very, very quickly, and just kind of keeping an eye on all the cars on the track, making sure nobody's really losing time or positions. It has certainly been a little bit of a crazy one. Yeah, and so that one for the 15 seconds was, of course, between Cercolini and Lele at that final turn where the spin happened on them both. So just an unfortunate situation. 2 minutes left of this race. Very, very quick one tonight, it feels. And Amaral Naim seems to be taking it out very, very easily. Johnston, a little bit more work had to be done there by Lucas Keys. So Lucas Keys affecting this championship quite a lot in this last race by being able to insert himself, I'd say, in between Max Ricker and Patrick Johnston. So that has gone quite well for Patrick, but obviously anything can happen. We've already seen Lucas has had a spin tonight, and we know how bumpy this track can be, so we just will have to keep an eye out in this last minute and a half to make sure everyone's able to bring it home quite safely. There is a yellow flag out, and I don't know who spun, but I'm trying to see who it is.
Yeah, kind of on edge a little bit right now. Let's see, I think this is Marsh in the Ferrari and just going for a small spin on the exit. Did hit the inside curb, and you know there is a lot of power still going through the rear despite the electrical motors on the front there. But yeah, I was going to say Patrick's really been putting in a lot of practice around here, especially because he didn't know SEBRING, so he probably did put a little bit more practice in than normal, and especially once he knew he had a chance at the championship. And definitely wanted to have Lucas Keys in his back pocket. It was a bit unsure whether Lucas had some university tests to go do. We were wondering last night, but ultimately did and clearly maybe he's just sacrificed his education, or he's actually got the test done prior to the race. But yeah, looking good for Patrick Johnston right now. And just a note on our leader, Daniel Benefield. We'll give him the last 30 seconds of the race because he's absolutely decimating the field. He is gonna, unless I curse him into the last corner, he is gonna make it free for attendance and race wins. Because yeah, unfortunately he's missed quite a few races, and I think he definitely would have been a factor in the championship if he could do the full season. But he has shown up for 3 races. He has won all 3. He has decimated Spa, Fuji, and now add SEBRING to the mix as Daniel Benefield in the Ferrari 499P. wins here for the final round of Season 6 of the WEC series. But yeah, kudos to the Ferrari driver. Just looked complete control. None of the threat. As Patrick Johnson just gets held up a little bit by Lachlan Parkin in the BMW, rightfully doing his line. Lucas frankly, taking note as well, didn't clatter into him as well. But I believe the GT cars have finished as well as I believe Patrick Johnson. I hope they're finished, and that's not Patrick Johnson just stopping out on track.
I just don't. That's Shady Samuel and 26 seconds. I'm hoping that he hasn't just run out of fuel there before the end. No, that's got to be end of race. That's end of race for the GT3s. I was a bit stressed there looking at him just sitting there, and the gap slowly.
I was seeing the same.
I wonder if that's because name passed the line before the hyper and before the timer was up, so his race is not over yet. But he has won this, and I believe that is the championship for Admiral Name, and I believe that is the championship for Patrick Johnston as well. So our hypercar champion is, I believe, Patrick Johnston with Admiral Name taking the win for the LMGT3s.
Yeah, commiserations to Max Rika and Shady Samuel and that one. They gave it their all, and they did everything they can, but I think they just didn't have the pace of the championship protagonists this time around. Trust things went the way. We'll wait for provisional, the actual full results. Obviously, everything we say is kind of provisional right now, but it was for the top three. Benefield ahead of Johnston, ahead of Lucas Keys for the top three, and I believe it was Admiral 9 in the top. Obviously, won the GT class and his championship, and did take it ahead of Shady Samuel, his P2 in the championship, ahead, I believe, of Eshan Lele, who I believe potentially might have finished P3 in the championship as well. Actually, very close between Benjamin Curtis and Eshan Lele, with the recent whoever DNF'd towards the end there. I'm not too sure. The Damiana's penalty, might have actually closed up that championship for P3. Will be interested to see how that one goes.
I believe Eshan Lele has finished in front of Benjamin Curtis, but I think that's something we'll have to see. And I also think Harry Lawrence might have finished in front of actually quite a few positions, because as I said, he was 9th, and obviously Rayan had that spin that took him out, so that's another position. And then Mark Bushell wasn't here tonight, so that's another position. And then I don't know where Peter ended up, so that would be again another position. So that could put him from 9th to just 6th in one race.
I think Lucas Keys probably would have pipped Tim Vaughan and Donnelly. As Donnelly DNF'd, and Tim Vaughan, I think, didn't show up for this last race. I think it's the first race he's missed all season, potentially. But potentially Harry Lawrence. I think Papiano was finished just behind Harry Lawrence, so may or may not have gone him. But a pretty good round at Sebring. Honestly, pretty clean for the most part. We only saw a few collisions. It is difficult to make a move around here. But great race. Great way to end out the season as well. And we'll do the quick spin to win for a $50 ThermalTake gift card. Thank you very much to ThermalTakes for supporting us, and obviously having a Melbourne TGX. You were down at TGX. How did you find it?
Oh, it was brilliant. They had one of the best booths. It was right at the entry, and I think it was busy the whole time. Selling some of their great PCs and cases and everything, and their sim rigs, again, some very, very awesome sim rigs there for the ThermalTakes. But we are, as you said, getting into the Wheel Spin ThermalTake $50 e-gift card for week 6. This is everybody who has finished a race, so we're going to see as it spins. It's going to be, for this one, Matt Madden. Matt Madden has won it. So that is a $50 e-gift card for ThermalTake. Thank you again, ThermalTake, for sponsoring our series of sprints and LMU. We do appreciate it all the time. And we will now get into our... Do we have our thermal overtakes of the week, or are we just moving straight to Split Red?
I'm guessing we're moving straight to Split Red.
All right, moving over to Split Red, who is going to be Cameron Thistlethwaite, joined by, you would know, I don't know.
Dario Barletti.
Ooh.
Bloody Liam gone out on a bender after his championship win. Not available. That's the reason I'm given for him. He's not here to, explain himself. And Matt Madden is, I don't know, commentating real-life races or something like that, potentially, because he's that bloody good. He should be.
Yeah.
But we'll have a short break. Join us in 15 minutes when Split Red gets underway with its qualifying. But I'll still be here, but I believe there'll be a due from you, Jaden Running. Thank you for commentating every... No, you missed a race of LMU.
Mr. Race, I'm sorry.
You missed a race. I had to get the Tim Gobe in. And yes, shame. But no, thank you for commentating pretty much all of Split LMU with me. It's been a blast.
Always, mate, and I'd be happy to do it if it comes around again, but I think you're wanting to race in LMU, so I'll leave that to you.
We'll see.
I believe there is an announcement coming up soon about the Friday series. I'm not sure if we're supposed to be announcing it or if Mr. Matt Powell himself will come in and announce it, but it is a big one for the ELMS series.
Indeed. But yeah, join us in 15 minutes. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Octane Online Racing's ThermalTake Sprint Series Season 24 for the final round here at ZOLDER for Split Red. It could potentially go either way in the championship at the very top between Breno Ellis, the car you're seeing on the screen in the Audi, and Chris Cooley, with potentially some outside chances for the other classes as well. But my name is Cameron Fizzleplate, and I'm joined by Dario Bartoletti, and of course we've got lovely Ben Hignett on the cameras as well, as the qualifying just about to begin, and first laps are just about to be commenced as well. But Dario, how are you doing?
Very well now. As I was mentioning, I just finished work and I just made it on time to jump in the booth. This is my favorite time to enjoy some hard racing by somebody else. I've done my job yesterday and now I'm just here to enjoy the show. So I really look forward to tonight's race.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't see you too much last night, but I did see that you were unfortunately T-boned by someone a bit unnecessarily, unfortunately, and caught up in a collision at the last corner. I managed to avoid just about. But yes, Split Yellow did set a precedent for the kind of carnage that we may or may not see from Split Red here tonight, as unfortunately Breno Ellis really does clatter those infamous kind of curbs at the chicane, at Klein chicane, and gonna run now into THERMALTAKE, and yeah, we'll see how the Audi driver does. I'm not sure if he managed to keep it valid, or to be honest, it might be the lap may have already gone, but thankfully with a short lap here you get a lot of chances at the cherry.
Yeah, that's definitely, that one is probably one of the few overtaking corners that this track provides. I think this race is it's gonna be very important to qualify very well, and then just stay out of trouble if you can. Avoid those curbs and avoid the walls and avoid other cars.
Yeah, absolutely. As Brenner looks like potentially did invalid, as he didn't set a time on that one, but we've already seen times already get on the board with Carl Johnson and Aiden Squires up to a 28. I'm trying to remember quality times for Split Yellow. I think they were doing low 27s, and we'll potentially see what people can do. It is a bit of a lottery out there with a very short quali. It takes a few laps for tyres to really get into the optimum window as well, and it's because of how decisive this track can be with some of these corners. It is a little bit of random chances. You see the Porsche there and the Mustang. How well you take that curb kind of dictates a lot of the lap. We'll see that. We'll see what Chris Cooley can do as well. Did see him in practice, but he's currently Aiden Squires at the top of the field with a 28.2. Expect that to quickly get displaced, though. We'll see, though, we've got a few drivers behind him. Dario as well. I think Damiano Fercolini. We'll see what Breno can produce on his first lap. Did a 28.3 invalid. We're going 1.6 seconds quicker, so looking pretty good, although I'm not really trusting ACC's timing as he navigates the final corner of Jackie Xbox right now. And going well so far. We'll have to get his representative time for the championship leader. And does a 27.697. So just half a second ahead of Aiden Squires. So pretty good representative time, but imagine it won't last for pole.
Yeah, that's not a bad lap. Straight, actually, second lap, but yeah, definitely already in the zone. Breno Ellis, surely he wants to start at the front. He wants to make sure he doesn't have to overtake any cars. It's really hard to overtake on this track, so definitely for him, in view of the championship, starting at the front will be very important.
Chat this announced as well. We'll have potentially other slots as well for other championships. I believe details for season 25 of ACC sprint season is already up on the website as well as the ELMS split as well for potentially, I believe, 9 p.m. Friday night. So rejoice, late late split enjoyers, you now got a late split for Le Mans Ultimate in the form of potentially just LMP2s and LMP3s, according to Matt. I'm not too sure if GTs have been given the axe in that or not. No, there was potentially that was a revision to add the LMP3s. I would like to have to see all three classes, but potentially the stewards might have drawn the line on that one. We'll see. Well, we'll see as they cross the line. So Aiden Squires does take that pole back away from Breno Ellis. But we're still yet to see a represented time from Chris Cooley. There we go. Goes up to a 28.0, which is quite a way up from what I saw him do in practice. He looks like he is a little bit in the traffic out there, so we're not seeing the best from the Aston Martin driver, I have to say. As Breno unfortunately finds the gravel on the exit of turn 4 and does lose a little bit of time, but the lap's not over.
It's a very technical track, this one. Just being close enough, it's your way out. So you really have to nail every corner, every braking point if you really want to stand out. I definitely struggle in a race and qualifying, just finding the confidence. I think that's probably one of the struggles that most of the middle of the pack races will struggle with tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be very difficult. Unfortunately, I think Chris Cooley is a little bit bulked up here, just behind Damiano Fercolini, who is on a valid, so not entitled to get out the way. He's got a little bit tiny gap to the car behind, so he needs to find it just a little bit. I think he'll only have 2 more chances at a fast lap. See Jacob Weberburn, also known as Yoda, here in the Mustang, getting very sideways on the exit of turn 7. Turn 7's like 3 corners here for some reason. I don't know why. Don't ask me. But the run down to the hairpin, very tricky. Kind of a danger spot in the races. Everyone, Constantine is up. One of the potential passing points as well if you get a good run out of the previous corner and if you've got the brakes to send it up the inside. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see. Obviously for the format, we've got 3 20-minute races. And there'll be reverse top 10 grids for race 2 and race 3 with 10-minute qualifying sessions for those 2 remaining races as well. But this is kind of like the traditional all-out for the first race. As per tradition, only 20 minutes. But yeah, qualifying is so critical around here. It is very hard to pass. You know, even if you've got the car with a little bit of horsepower, it's very hard to make a pass around here. See now, it's Chris Cooley running through the chicane, gets that bounce. I know last night he was so frustrated with the bounce and the randomness of the Aston Martin on the rear axle through that section. And yeah, unfortunately some cars are really not riding those series of curves very well, and it kind of dictates a lot of the lap along with the chicane just before it with the 2 massive curbs. Aiden Squire still holding down provisional pole right now. A little bit of improvement on his lap as he negotiates the final couple of corners, but Breno Ellis does snatch her away by 1/10, and Aiden's trying to respond. I'm not sure this lap will have enough in it. It will be a small improvement of 1/100th, but yeah, pretty close between Breno and Aiden Squires right now.
Yes, Cam. It's definitely looks like there is a bit of a gap in between the first 3 drivers and the rest of the pack. Which I think is going to make it even more interesting to watch the race. I was looking at next season's tracks, Cam. I am sure you'll be disappointed that you're not going to see Zoldberg in there. What do you think about that?
On Zolder? I don't know. Like, to be honest, I like the track, but it kind of it's such a tricky tricky track to get the most out of. I like it to hot lap. I think I'm not too sure about doing a race around it though. Yeah,
totally agree. I was pretty confident in the build-up of going into this race.
No.
Oh, Cooley.
I think Cooley knew that lap was not going to be an improvement and just sent it at the wall regardless. Rob Underwood behind him on a big improvement, half a second in hand for the Honda driver, who's only 7 tenths off pole. We'll see how he negotiates the final corner and through now Ryokan Rittenbach as well, and looking pretty good to get potentially on the front row or up at least P3, which is definitely not what Chris Cooley will want right now for his championship stakes, but looking like all the top leaders have already finished their lap, so it's still going to be Brenner on provisional pole. Let's see what Rob Underwood can get to get up into P3 for the Honda driver. So yeah, that's a really good lap there from Rob Underwood.
That was a massive lap and massive upset, as you said, for Cooley. Looking at the championship, Wedderburn got his 3/10 up according to his delta. Let's see if he can gain some position, and he does. He goes to 6th position. That's a very big leap forward for Wedderburn.
Yep, and looks like Brad Gosling just doing his lap. He's going to have a car right behind him. I think that's Giacomin. And unfortunately not entitled to pass if the car is on a valid lap. But yeah, that's going to be an interesting one at the top or the front. This is kind of like the only normal race of tonight. And it'll be interesting to see how things go. And, you know, if this race goes well, but if you have 2 shockers in the remaining 2 races, then it can really swing things in a different way. But we'll see how the race goes. Obviously, reverse top 10 of this race will be reversed for the top 10 in the second race, when everyone will have to qualify and fill in the remaining grid spots. But it's going to be Breno Hellis ahead of Aidan Squires, ahead of Rob Underwood, and ahead of Chris Cooley. And I have to say, yeah, just a reminder that Chris Cooley is 25 points behind Breno Ellis in the championship for the overall category. So very close between all of them, and definitely not the way Cooley would have wanted to get that, to get the first part of the competitive, part of this weekend off.
Yeah, absolutely. There is, I think, forgive me if I'm wrong, but possibly more points up for grabs than most races because of the 3 super sprint races format. So there is still a chance for Cooley to close that gap, but we'll see. We'll see in the next hour.
Yeah, I believe just having a quick look at it, I think there's 1.5 more points, kind of multiply on points for this round. I believe 75 for the individual race win, down to 1 point, down to 30th, and I don't think there's more than 30 cars here, so everyone will be scoring a point. So you're inclined to finish the race, at least. Well, I don't think you need to finish the race, actually. I'm not too sure, actually, if that's still being implemented. It's, my knowledge is a little bit ropey. I do apologize. But, yeah, it should be interesting to see how things go. And, yeah, three lots of 75 points on the table. Obviously, I think with qualifying, I'm not too sure what will be the case with qualifying. I imagine quality points won't go to the drivers that are in the reverse top 10 grid, if I was to imagine how it worked. And of course, we'll see how things go along. But yeah, here at Zolder, great to see things on. And the classic Easter egg, I believe that is Marco, the head of Kunas, taking that photo as they obviously came here to get some reference photos back in probably, I imagine, 2017 or 2018, because this track is at least from the 2018 era, when it was implemented into the game. And it's been that long, but classic Easter egg. It's one of the well-known ones around the tracks.
And you really appreciate the work of Benjamin Hignett on the camera for these footages. So you can claim your freebie when you can. But here they go for the warm-up lap, and off the goes.
Only non-laser scan track. It's pretty impressive considering. Yeah, it's laser scan tracks. Obviously, laser scanning is quite an expensive thing, but yeah, pretty impressive. This track isn't laser scanned. I wouldn't have picked this one if I was to guess. I mean, it is pretty bumpy though. That said, for different reasons though.
Maybe it's just a rough cut that they put in the game. At least that's what I use it for an excuse for my lack of performance.
Yep. See, and doing everything to try and build up tire temp, you really have to build it up around here because it is quite a high energy track, especially through the first sector. So you do start the pressures somewhat on the lower side. Should expect fair temperatures. Obviously, no chance of rain with it being a dry round. And we'll see how things go. Definitely chances of losing tire pressure with the bumps. And Aiden's gonna go for a spin and hit the wall. I was gonna say he's been extreme with that freaking that tire weaving. Oh, you can see that coming a mile away. Unfortunately, I wonder how much damage he's actually sustained in that process. But it'll be interesting to see if he's actually allowed to get back to his spot. I think he will be. But we're just about to go double file, so we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, that's not how. Yeah, that's a bit silly there from Aiden.
Yeah, that's definitely it would have caused some damage. There was some really really high energy tire warming. Hopefully it's not too bad. Hopefully it's just like a bit of a just a little bit more than cosmetic damage, and
he has rejoined, and he does have damage.
Yeah.
You can see it.
Yeah. Yeah. Here they go as they approach the last chicane. Now they are in double file on 80 km an hour. There is the perfect double file that we're seeing. Leading car is on the left. As they line up. And here they go for the round 8 of Zolder. Waiting for the green light to go off. And they're off. And straight away, Cooley. Oh, there's a contact. Oh, that's massive contact at the front. And that was gonna cause a safety car for sure. Oh, that's massive. There's been a contact at the front, possibly from the second or third car. And that's massive. Yeah, safety car called.
That's huge. Yeah, so the contact between Underwood, Cooley, and I believe Aiden Squires has absolutely dictated this whole race and made things quite easy for Breno Ellis. I'm not too sure. I think that is Sam up there from P9 into P2 just from all of that, with Barker in P3 as well. Absolute calamity from the start. I do use that word a lot, but that was... I don't know what to say. It was absolute melee. We see it was a bit of a bad start from some cars. We got replay here. Underwood just catching the nose of Cooley and then spearing into the Mustang of Aiden Squires, and unfortunately just absolutely just destroying the rest of the field in the process. Split rud, split blood. You absolutely sent the benchmark. Split yellow cannot compare.
Now I feel now that the split yellow is the good kid compared to the bloody red split. That was very unfortunate.
A few corners first, like
at least give us a good corner. It was very unfortunate because I think it was just Underwood trying to get a bit of a better angle, and he just got
that.
Yeah, they just got touched, and that's like a big chain reaction, unfortunately. Here they go. Hopefully it's all settled. There is 3 cars in the pit, so they might be able to restart.
Underwood for RTG'd. I saw that one on the start, so we can see it stunt now. So watch the yellow Aston, the white Aston, and there is contact between Underwood. I'm not sure Underwood came across, or it was Cooley, but it just speared into the Mustang. So I think, yeah, Aiden Squires, I didn't see he get going again, but Giacomin involved in all that. I think Craig as well. There's a whole load of cars potentially, or not potentially, but pretty clearly, completely just nowhere to go in the rest of the field. They wouldn't have even had time to react. It's just straight off the start, right from as soon as they went green. And yeah, that's made things pretty easy, I have to say, for Breno. That says championship main rival, well and truly not going to score, not going to be on the podium, I don't think. Never say never for this race, but I'm not sure if we're going green again or if we're going to do another round of safety cars like that. No, we're definitely gone, as he has disappeared off the back last corner. So it's going to be Breno Ellis ahead of Sam, ahead of Barker, ahead of Carl Johnson, Roy Atkin, Daniel Menzel, Pete Chalmers, Tarab Bank, Jacob Weberberg, and Lachlan Perkins is going to make up. Sorry, Larry Perkins is going to make up the top 10. But yeah, not on my bingo list, that's for sure. And yes, very much like Babby says, you can hear Mullock right now in not even 12 meters. I dare say, might not be in 12 meters. I think it was more like maybe 18. But yes. I've no words. I'm so glad you did the start and I didn't have to do that.
That reminds me of the Blues Brothers movie with all the cars piled up, but unfortunately they had no choice. But here they go racing again. Great stuff from Breno Ellis. He could dictate when to take off from the safety car, and now it looks like they're all in an orderly line. Is there a Ferrari, McLaren? I believe that is the Anken a bit sideways on the grass, but they're really pushing it as they come onto. Oh, I can't pronounce that. Turn 8.
Turn 8. Hairpin. Or Olderberg had spelled bocked. That's my best effort. That's the only time you're going to get that corner name out of me.
You get bonus points for that, Cam. Francis Sam in position 2 with a McLaren. He got a massive positions gain. He'll be pretty happy about that. Now they just have to manage those tire pressure, try not to hit the curbs too hard, and keep the car on the track. That is the Porsche 52. Is that one of the Kodak cars, I believe? Yes.
Yep. Oh, as Barker goes wide and Carl Johnson's going to go up the inside. It should be a pretty clean move into turn 4 right now. And he gets it to the apex, and the Ferrari's not going to have much room, but actually a bit of a bad exit from the Porsche is going to lead the Ferrari to draw alongside, and we'll have the inside for the Klein chicane. It's going to be very hard for Carlos to go around the outside, around this corner. He's going to filter in. No, he's not. He's going to try and go too wide as he successfully managed to navigate it. And it's going to give Roy Atkin in the day globe. McLaren going to go around the outside of David Barker for the next series of corners. Oh, this is so close to the back of Carl Johnson. They still go too wide through turn 7, through Terman Bocht, and they make contact, and potentially the BMW and Magzel on the inside for the last corner, but around the outside there, that's Pete Chalmers going around the outside of the BMW, with Tarab Bank now ready to pounce on the slowing down Magzel, and he'll potentially fire it up the inside into the into turn 8, and he does get it stopped, and it's going to be Porsche versus BMW as they rub doors, bang the doors, and they go for a little cut through the grass. Yoda in the Mustang just behind him. They make contact again on the entry to the last chicane, and Tarab looks like he's going to get through, but now the Mustang with the crisscross on the BMW. Maxwell went from attacking to unfortunately losing about 4 places there, as Tarab Bank has now has to defend from the Mustang. But oh my goodness gracious, that started from a battle from P3, it ended up in a battle all the way down to P9.
There was a great racing here. Totally enjoying this. Great driving by Carl Johnson. He got the position at the Klein chicane, and he managed to keep it. And now all the heat is on Tarab Bank, trying to keep Weatherburn and his Mustang behind. Yep,
it was a pretty decisive move from some of those drivers, and oh, bad run there from Yoda in the Mustang is going to give Magzel a run around the outside again into turn 7 right now, and oh, they're going to go too wide. Looks like there is racing room given by both drivers. Unfortunately, the BMW is going to come off second again in all of that, with Giacomin just behind them, I think, in the Ferrari, I want to say. Not too sure. Is that Giacomin? No, no, it is Giacomin, but he's a lap down on all of this. I did see he was involved in that massive crash at turn 1, so he's kind of just here. Unfortunately, going to be a little bit of a disruption to some of these drivers. He will be quicker than a lot of them, but you know, he is a blue flag car, and while these guys trying to do their own battles, not too sure how he's going to navigate this one hopefully nicely and cleanly for every one of these drivers. But we're seeing a lot of moves happening right now, and that's the thing, as I found out last night, if you get overtaken and you kind of get offline, all the cars start to suddenly pounce on you here. It's very much a one-line circuit. We're seeing Pete Chalmers really give Roy Atkin a lot of heat right now into turn 2, and the run now through turn 3 and 4, but looking pretty steady at the top. But yeah, Carl Johnson with a decisive move on David Barker. And Carl Johnson is ahead of kind of fighting with Aiden Squires for that P3 in the championship. With Aiden, I believe, sticking in the pits for this race. Saw him in chat as well, as he wasn't too impressed at what happened at the start there. Don't think he was necessarily one of the parties at fault for that one, but I'm interested to see how things go. We're seeing a few DTs out there. I think these are for potentially collisions rather than track limits. Not to say you can't get track limits in this amount of time, but Mateen, I know he's in a big fight, I think, for the silver championship with Pete Chalmers. So that's really going to hurt his chances, especially with Chalmers in P6 right now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's quite easy to do track limits. Possibly didn't have time. What's going on with this white Porsche here? Looking on the outside, and there's a bit of a collision, and then he just loses on the grass, then cuts across. Luckily, no other cars got involved. There was all the build up for another big T-bone crash on the last corner.
Yep, something that unfortunately you were familiar with. As Mateen does that drive-through, I think that was between Charitos and Viney, between the two Porsches, between, I dare say, representatives of Kovacs and between representatives of Skill Issue Racing. But, we'll see how that one develops, but unfortunately, definitely not going in the way of Charitos. But yeah, Damien Magdell, I think he'll be understandably a little bit perturbed, because I unfortunately had a similar moment last night, where I got overtaken and I just started losing positions because I just couldn't filter back into the racing lane. That's a big cut on the first part of the curb. Despite it being 20 minutes, won't be too surprised. A lot of these drivers will be taking every track limit possibility chance they can get. But yeah, I think he'll be a little bit annoyed on how he lost all those positions, how he went from the attacking to unfortunately losing positions. But yeah, it looks like Jacob Weberburn really giving Tarab Bank a little bit of a run as well. Tarab doing a good job, obviously kind of cheering on his son Ibrahim Bank for last night's race. And unfortunately, Ibrahim went for a small flight last night in one of the races, I believe in race 2. Brenner Ellis with the fastest lap as well. Not too surprised. I think Brenner will probably be, he'll be pushing, but kind of taking it easy. He doesn't need. He's basically been handed a golden opportunity on a platter to pull 75 points ahead of his competitors. I'm not too sure where Cooley is in this race. I think if we can potentially find out. Looks like there he is. Oh, sorry, there he is in P11. So he actually got off not too badly, in all things considered. Definitely a lot better than some of the other cars. And we'll have to ask if any of the stewards are in chat, maybe if there's been a racing incident decided or any action on what happened at the start. If it's kind of just play on race incident between all those cars, we'll see what happens, or if it's still being decided.
Yeah, that's what it looks like at the moment. But yeah, waiting for the last word from the stewards. It's actually Cooley now is not in a bad position considering the big crash that he had. He's in 11th, and with another 8.5 minutes to go, he can probably get another position, and that will put him in a good spot for race 2. So he's probably can still say have a decent race tonight, some decent results. Not where he wanted, but yeah, not all is lost. Breno Ellis still smashing fastest laps with a comfortable 8 seconds lead. So he's probably just enjoying himself now, cutting hot laps.
Yeah, it's a thing. If despite this not going the way of Cooley, it's really unfortunate. Oh, Pit Chalmers having a big moment and going really slow on the exit of turn 1. Going to give Tarab Bank a potentially sniff at making a move done, but nothing able to be done so far. Looking for potential crisscross, but is he going to have overlap? Is he going to be really enough to send it up the inside? Looks like he is not able to right now, as he follows the Kovac's Porsche and the run down to the Klein chicane. But now Weberburn's having a little look as he closes in, gets real close under braking, but we'll see how they navigate the chicane. The Porsches really hate it, and potentially, bad run there from Tarab Bank. The Mustang's going to draw a little bit alongside front axle to rear axle. Now Magzell's involved in all of this as well, and it does a really good job, does Weberburn, not to go into the back of the Porsche while he was watching the BMW, but they all come come out line astern as they were.
That was a pretty sketchy moment. Just some clarification about the drive-through penalties from the YouTube chat. Apparently, those are for ignoring yellow flags.
Yeah, we saw a few of those last night as well in the incident where you unfortunately took a hit. Drivers ignoring yellow flags, you know, just trying to, you know, hero through the carnage that's not on, have to say. We don't look fondly at that. And, oh, that was Pete Chalmers just missing his braking zone and nearly getting into the back of Roy Atkin. And unfortunately, you explained why we saw he was so slow out of turn 1. Lucky to get away with that one.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, what happens with those yellow flags if Kimi Raikkonen once he got caught in a big, I think it was a big smoke cloud or rouge, and the commentator was saying, surely Kimi Raikkonen is gonna lift, and no, he just kept it pinned. So that's what these guys are gonna try to achieve here, but sometimes you might just cause more accidents, so therefore the penalty is awarded.
Yeah, don't full throttle into yellows. If you can see something's happening up ahead, don't try and be like the main character and try and pile through it. I kind of hate that incident. Unfortunately, a lot of real, you know, sim racing probably reflects real life racing, where a lot of drivers don't respect the yellow flags, and we wonder why we have such big accidents. And you know, unfortunately, it's you know, can lead to injury, not even just in real life. In the sim, I think I saw Damien Maxwell go very wide there, and I think it's going to give Chris Cooley a chance, as Cooley did get ahead of Giacomin, obviously being a blue flag car right now. And oh, so close! There was a potentially little touch in going into the hairpin, but it looks like it's going to be Cooley out in front. But the BMW is still there with a small overlap into the last corner. He's got to draw alongside some decent punch from the BMW. He's going to get back ahead of Chris Cooley.
That's some great driving. He was so strong on the brakes at Polderberg Speldbocht, and he managed to do a switcheroo to Chris Cooley. I was told by Matt in the last race, I commented that Menskal comes from the Academy series, and this is his first sprint series, and now he's here battling and keeping Chris Cooley at bay, and he's actually doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, it's interesting to see from some of these academy drivers, you know, when they join sprints, they're not afraid of anyone. You're just another competitor. It doesn't matter what name you got attached to. And he had a little bit of look going into the Lucien Bianchi Bolt, but they're not getting it. And oh, big cut and big bounce for the Aston Martin. Unfortunately, you know, you can take it, but unfortunately, the Aston Martin just really bouncy on the exit there. And they're going to have to try again as Jacob Webber-Byrne, a 10-second penalty to the Ford Mustang. So interesting to see how that one, you know, kind of, it's really going to send him far down the field, because the field is still so compact. So unfortunate there for the Mustang driver right now. But yeah, it's going to be interesting how things develop. You know, 4 minutes. I was going to try to say as well, you know, if Renault Ellis has 2 really bad races and Chris Cooley still has 2 good ones, it could completely undo this whole swinging points right now. Is obviously going Breno's way, but Cooley being within the top 10 and actually on provisional pole position right now, will probably lose it by 1 spot when Webber-Byrne's penalty is applied, but provisionally on the P10 for provisional reverse grid pole for race 2.
Yeah, it would definitely be a good spot for Cooley to start race 2 if things finish like this. Then and definitely the race to the championship is still open until the maths prove us wrong. What's going on here? I think there was a Ferrari. I believe that's a back runner. Just taking a bit of a cut and then going to mow the lawn. Not sure if he's got an issue, hardware issue or something, but yeah, number 26. Pretty sure it was 26 before, and now it's gone to the pits. Okay. Yeah.
A little bit of indecision there, I think, to say the least. I think that's Robert Buckerfield just finding his way into the box nicely at the end. And we're seeing Manxell, but I'm not seeing Chris Cooley. Where is Cooley? He's all the way back here.
Oh, great move by the
Francis Sam's back here as well. Francis Sam's got dropped back from P2 as well. What on earth has happened? Oh, what's happened to Francis Sam and what's happened to Chris Cooley? I can already see what's going to happen.
Chris Cooley, yeah, lost 1 position. Yeah, here he is.
Yep, so this is Francis Sam. He was P2. Looks like he's behind Carl Johnson at this moment, so down to P3, and unfortunately just goes for a spin, and the McLaren just catching the curve just wrong. I unfortunately was one of them, and oh, that's what's going to happen to Chris Cooley. Oh, unfortunately the rejoin is going to take out Chris Cooley in the process. Oh no, yeah. Oh, don't think he's going to be a very happy chappy about that one.
That's a paddling.
Yeah. There would have been yellows down there, but I'm not too sure. I mean, I'll leave that one to the stewards, quite frankly. I know the car's got to rejoin at some point, but unfortunately, that's where sometimes the racing line just goes right up to that curb. So I think it's going to be on the driver rejoining, to say the least. I didn't think those two incidents were going to be connected, but it turns out they were. But if it's any consolation, he actually might be outside of the 10-second window for Weber-Burns penalty, so that might not be reverse grid pole for Cooley. Oh, and he's just blindsided. He doesn't know where that car is, and then suddenly he's I don't think Cooley really could have done anything there.
He had no chance, and even though the yellow flag alert in the game, it's delayed most of the time, so that would have been really, really hard to avoid. And unfortunately, the rejoin happened to be right on the racing line, and Sam got collected. So leave that to the stewards and see if that would be pretty hard, but yeah. Possibly Chris Cooley going back for qualifying and see how he goes. It's gonna mix the cards again.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the gaps between those cars all behind him, and I think that's going to add up to more than 10 seconds. He has to really hustle these last few laps. But, well, he doesn't really have a last few laps. This is going to be the last lap with 15 seconds to go. The leader is at turn 7 right now, so he will cross the line this time around when the timer hits 0. So this is the last lap for everyone. And unfortunately, I think Chris Cooley is going to fall out, is going to have to go out for qualifying. And potentially that puts Stevenson on reverse grid pole for race 2. It should be interesting for one of the, I believe, Pidgey boys. He's got the pro category tag. Not being no discredit to Mr. Stevenson. I think that's a bit of overexertion. I think he'll be the first to admit that as well. He's a good sport, but did a great job in qualifying commentary last night for iRacing. But yeah, that'll be a right old treat for the Pidgey driver.
And Breno Ellis just crossed the checkered flag, got P1, and Carl Johnson on P2. I think his Barker should be in third position, and all the others.
Yep. I think actually Stevenson won't make the 10-second gap either. So it could be actually Weber-Burns stays within the top 10. We shall see. We'll wait for the results, and obviously we're all to matter. But Chris Cooley riding the wall, they're not happy with how that race went. It went bad from the start and then didn't get much better on the recovery drive through the rest of the race. Francis Sam, I think we're hit with a 15-second penalty, I imagine, for that rejoin. And the last few stragglers across the line. But yeah, great race for Breno Ellis, Carl Johnson, and David Barker in all of that.
Yeah, another couple of late penalties to Damiano Toccolini and Craig Gallagher, 15 and 10 seconds. Oh, and there is 15 seconds for Sam.
Yeah, looking at the gaps and doing a bit of quick maths, I think Weber-Burns might have actually just perfectly planted himself, potentially for a reverse grid pole. I want to wait. I don't want to. I've already said it now, so it doesn't matter if I'm wrong. But potentially, with the gaps behind him, he might have just got away with that. But it's going to be looking good for Breno Ellis. First race done with a win, and his all his championship competitors, well, with the exception of Carl Johnson, who's quite close to him, who's in P3 in the championship, but they're 2 points behind, 200 points behind. I apologize. Yeah, it's going to be very, very close, to say the least. Well, not very close, but in all of that. So yeah, everything looking Breno Ellis' way as we wait for the server to tick over, and it's just taking its sweet old time. So enjoy the fireworks. hum diddly hum. Yeah, thank you everyone in the chat. Do check out ThermalTake, do check out simrigs.com, and I believe we still got Go Setups on the supporting us as well. Do check out all our sponsors. Check out our Patreon as well. Get discounts on your race entries. We've got duos, I think, starting up next on the 28th, so next weekend. So do get involved in that if you want. And it looks like qualifying 2 is underway. Aiden Squires out straight away, as he won't be too pleased and all that. Obviously how that went. Rob Underwood as well. I'm guessing that was... I wonder if we can still get clarity from any of the stewards in chat whether that was... I apologize if you did say what happened at turn 1, but was that just a racing incident deemed no one at majority fault in the turn 1 incident?
Yeah, and we definitely got confirmation that Chris Cooley didn't make it in the top 10 as he goes out for qualifying. 8 minutes for qualifying 2 and 3 for the drivers who didn't make it into the top 10 reverse.
Yep. There's going to be a lot to look at, to be honest, for the stewards. They got a lot to do. They had a lot to do last night, and they got a lot to do this night as well. I just want to point out Loopty, who said he was going to bed, and said he was going to bed, still in chat as well. All form, Loopty. Could have been in the box with us. Lots of work to do for all the stewards tonight, obviously, with this format. 20 minutes with reverse grids as well. It's quite a lot to do. A lot for the RD, a lot for the stewards, and a lot for Ben Hignett on the cameras as well. But he does a great job regardless.
Yeah, it's just business as usual for him. But yeah, as you say, the stewards are definitely loaded with work, and I really got to appreciate of their work, because I think they really contribute to keep the competition clean and fair. And if you guys are listening, please consider joining Octane Online Racing. We have live stewards making sure that everyone does the right thing, and it's a really enjoyable league, and with a great bunch of blokes and girls.
Absolutely. It's obviously seeing qualifying 2 underway, only 10 minutes. Did extend it from 8 minutes to 10 minutes. But yeah, we'll see what happens in this one. Obviously, Aiden Squires looks the first out there. We'll probably see his first time to lap this time around. Only a few attempts to do. It's a short lap, but only a short quali as well. Obviously, I'm expecting, probably... it's hard to say between Aiden and Cooley for pole, and obviously Rob Underwood's a factor in that as well. But yeah, they did line up P2, 3, and 4, and obviously I'll be very surprised if they don't line up P1, 2, and 3 for this quali session. Obviously, P1 here is obviously going to be P11 on the grid, as the top 10 from the last race obviously make up the top 10 for this one in reverse order. So you're racing for P11 at Bose, which is still something to definitely you can have a good race from. Jake Coleman in this as well, of course. We did forget about him. So many drivers, quick drivers, going to be out of place for this race too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely not what they wanted, but unfortunately, this is racing, and so it's part of it. So they just gotta put their head down and try to catch up. Chris Cooley goes to 1:27.7, which is a pretty decent pace. Probably faster than what it has lapped before. I wonder if maybe he did some changes to his setup. It's later in the day now, I believe. No, it's actually a second day of racing, but similar track and air temperature, but it's not the same. So keep an eye on that, and make sure that you tweak your tire pressure accordingly.
Yeah, I think The first races take place on the Friday, I want to say. I'm not too sure, actually. Or it takes place on the Saturday, and both the second and third race take place on the Sunday. So the track will be a little bit more rubbered in. And I believe the second race, yeah, takes place a little bit earlier in the day than the first race. And the last race takes a little bit, is more like around 4 p.m. This one, I think, is around 11 a.m.
Yeah, that's it. What do we got? Keeley, Squires, then Underwood, fourth position, Sam. Let's see if Martin, he's up on the Delta. It's actually 7th and goes to 6th. So 1 position gained. Still probably 2 more laps to squeeze if he has enough fuel. Squires is on a green lap. Let's see if he can secure his 11th position.
Yeah, we'll see. It did look pretty good, and it looked like it kind of maybe had the measure of Keeley in the first qualifying session. Keeley did kind of, he didn't really place himself too well. He was kind of balked by traffic a little bit. Obviously, with 10 less drivers, there's a little bit more space out there in this qualifying session. And Aiden Squires does improve to a 27.2. I think in this earlier session, you do see some of the quicker times. It might go quicker once it gets to the later qualifying for race 3 potentially, but obviously it depends on, we're not getting all the drivers in that one, so you never know what Brennan else would do. It is going to be displaced though by Chris Keeley. Does go quicker by just under 7/100ths. Craig Rosser here in the Ferrari across the line. We'll see what he produces. Looks like he's about 2/10 up, get himself up into P10 just ahead of Gallagher. So that might be Chris Rosser. I do apologize. I don't know first names too well in this split.
Battlefield is 4/10 up on his personal best, so that could see him going potentially 2 positions ahead. Let's see when he crosses the line, and he goes 1:28.9, and it goes to 10th. Not too bad. 3 positions gained. Aiden Squires go again, but he's not beating his lap, but he's gonna have time to go again. And Underwood, he's on a green lap. It's got a massive gap. I think it's 7/10 down from Squires, and doesn't look like he's gonna improve on his lap.
They didn't improve, and they look like they're all setting themselves up to go for the last run. Keeley in the background with the BMW just up ahead. Scott Rochford in the Kovac Racing purple car, just behind. It looks like Fercolini up the road as well. So looks like those guys are just doing their own. Fercolini obviously just coming from LMU, it's coming from Sebring to Zolder. It's quite wild. And obviously a bit different game. 6/10 in hand for Scott Rochford. Goes up to P11. Decent time there for Anik. And he's going to be the final run. So those are still on the lap. I think Keeley's one of the last cars to cross the line. So we'll see what he does. 1/10 in hand, and now the horrible corner, the chicane, which he doesn't like. And the big bounce. And then, yeah, just can't carry speed, and he's decided it's done and fires at the wall as well. Not too impressed. Yeah, he was very frustrated last night doing practice. Just the randomness of that chicane in the Aston Martin seems to be one of the cars that really kind of just can't do. Is less consistent than other cars. I don't think any car is consistent across that chicane, but definitely the Aston Martin, one of the more trickier ones. Not to Keeley's liking. Squires, though, just under a 10th in hand. This is, I think he might have had chance at pole, but he's just going to lose out on the exit, and that would have been it. And he knows. He did have it just in hand, but just wasn't able to get the exit. A very annoying last corner is Jackie Ixbock. You just can't get the exit you want sometimes, and unfortunately, that was enough to decide the difference between pole and P2. Obviously, P11 and P12. Sean Charitos right now in the Porsche. You see, did have a bit of a mixed race. Unfortunately, you can see again there losing the exit as well, just not benefiting as he needed. But hey, it's going to be qualifying too, Dario.
And that's it. And now we're ready for race 2. So as we said before, we're gonna go with the reverse grid for the first 10, and Aiden Squires is got actually Chris Kuehler is gonna lead the second group from the 11th position. I think probably we're gonna assist to a bit more relaxed start, and it's not that it was really caused by negligence, but people will be very, very aware of cars around and possible contacts and the consequences.
Absolutely. And the interesting thing about this, with Renault obviously finishing, obviously winning the last race, and then reverse grid pole, it does actually put him right next to Chris Cooley on the grid. So it'll be interesting to see how those do, because I'm sure Renault wouldn't, even though he has a lot of margin in hand, he wouldn't, if he can make it harder for Chris Cooley, it'll be, ideal with the stake in the championship, because, you don't want to give any margin. If they both, if he has a really bad race 3, everything he can do in this race 2, you never know what's going to happen for the next race. So it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, Aiden Squires in that as well, with Giacomin and Underwood, Roy Atkin as well, going to be close to that part of the field. Race directors will be calling things off once this hits 0. No one will go at the start of the formation lap. They'll call out the numbers in the order they should do. It will be a little bit of a mixed start, because the cars will be in a bit different places, because the race start initializes based on wherever the pole position man is on the grid. Obviously a little bit shuffled around, so expecting maybe potentially even more mixed up start, because I think we'll start a lot the green flag a little bit further down the straight, that's for sure.
Yeah, now just waiting for the Kunos server to time out, and then the procedure will be called.
Yep.
That will probably give us just enough time to go and quickly to the loo and be back.
Yep, won't have too long. Would you like me to do the start for this one? Obviously, unless you want to do all 3 starts for tonight, it's up to you.
I'm easy, mate. You can go and
I'll do this one, and you can do the last one.
No worries.
No worries at all. But yeah, I'm interested to see how this one is. I don't think I've really commentated over one of these. Definitely not over 3 races in one weekend. This is very unorthodox. We obviously had 2 races around with 2 races earlier in the season. I believe at Barcelona. That was quite a lottery. I didn't commentate on that one, but it was quite a melee to be involved with. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be Dave Stevenson did potentially get that reverse grid pole by the looks of things. Yeah, so David Stevenson ahead of Jacob Weber-Burnt. I want to say, I'm not too sure who. I think that's not Rosser in that BMW. I forget which BMW that is right now. And then Manxell in the other BMW. So it is going to be you have to bear with us a little bit. There's going to be a little bit of mix on the start, but we got out of our system now. We're not going to do the under 20 meters depth at the start of the race. I think every race we had a safety car for split yellow. We'll see what happens. And sorry to throw you under the bus, Aiden Squires, right now, but a little bit less weaving this time. You weave, but just don't do it on a crest like you did.
Don't overcook it. I believe there was another crash in the formation. Oh no, there was actually a crash on the safety car yesterday, I believe.
Wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. Safety car is a little bit weird. Everyone forgets that you're not ghosted, so there's something to be aware of, and you do have a bit of concertina effect. There's a lot of slow points at this circuit, which kind of forces the grid to really bunch up. We shall see. I mean, Dave Stevenson. I think this will, no offense to Dave Stevenson, but he's gonna have a quite feisty Yoda in the Mustang. who does show a lot of pace. Obviously, with that 10-second penalty, I think he's probably the quickest driver around that part of the field, and we'll see how if David Stevenson can do anything to resist the Mustang. But looking pretty good for Jacob Webberburn to get a win here. Last thoughts from you, Dario.
I just can't wait for another start now and see if they learn something and see what happens. But here they go on the final straight.
Yeah, we'll see how we go. Potentially a little bit of a longer wait start here at Zolder. Let's run into turn 1. It will be David Stevenson on the inside in the pink and blue Aston Martin, ahead of Webberburn's white, blue and red Mustang. But it is going to be green flag, and it will be Aston into turn 1. The two BMWs on row 2 vying for position as well. We've already done. Well done, everyone. We've done better than race 1. Good job all round. Mansell under threat now from Tarab Bank, as Leigh Perkins really giving Webberburn a lot of heat right now. Trying to look back further in the field. David Barker going side by side, I believe, with Pete Chalmers, but not able to get the move done is Pete. And the run now in down to the Klein chicane, where it's really going to bunch up quite a bit, and seeing Rob Underwood draw alongside potentially Aiden Squires there. I'm trying to look back. I'm not seeing Bruno Ellis anywhere. There's something potentially happened to Bruno Ellis, and there's a car going off. That's Viney, and he does clatter 2 cars, the Mustang and the Aston Martin. And oh, wait, everyone, wait, don't start to get going again. Potential safety car.
Maybe not. I did see Bruno Ellis somewhere, but I actually saw Chris Cooley making a great move on T2. I believe it was on the McLaren, possibly. Yeah, the yellow McLaren. Yeah, that's Bruno Ellis in 9th position. So they already got 2 positions gained. He's got Chalmers in front and Chris Cooley chasing Barker on that Ferrari as they go into the second lap.
Yep, I couldn't find Brian Ellis for a second there, as we didn't have the time tower. But Cooley has gone ahead of all of them as well. Probably the best start from all those guys at that part of the track. And now Jacob Webberburn, he knows he needs to get this move done, otherwise people behind him will start to have a go at him as well. So, but a good run still from Dave Stevenson to fend off the experienced Mustang driver of Jacob Webberburn right now. And yeah, looking pretty good, but it's so hard to get a move done around here. And just probably on the line, just do your line, is exactly what Dave Stevenson is doing right now. But the pressure is going to definitely still to ramp up. The BMW is going to have a look at the inside. Oh, I think he may have missed his braking zone. He kind of didn't want to go into the back of the Mustang there. But unfortunately, it's going to make him vulnerable with Mansell on the inside potentially. But no, doesn't elect to go over there. And oh, Tarab Bank so close to the back of Mansell as well. And again, a good run now still from turn 7. Chris Cooley still on the back of these guys, already up into P6.
Yeah, definitely the 2 BMW look very racy behind the Mustang, but then they a bit of a missed corner, kind of put them under pressure from behind, and now they're all queued up. A tough couple of customers behind Webberburn with Leigh Perkins and Mansell still in 4th position, again shining the Young. I don't know if it's Young, but he's definitely new to ACC driver, doing very well in temporary 4th position.
Yeah, just seeing a replay there, that's how Cooley got ahead of Barker. Barker just going a bit wide at turn 1. But yeah, it's so hard to get a move done here. And Dave Stevenson doing a very good job to keep Webberburn at bay. And Leigh Perkins behind him, but surely Cooley's going to start to maybe pick these guys off one by one. With Tarab Bank just up ahead. Tarab doing a very good job, leading the Pro-Am Championship by quite some margin, and definitely on his way to getting a silver promotion for next season. And yeah, ahead of all the silver drivers in the championship as well. And oh, maybe a bad run for Stevenson as the Mustang gets closer, but not able to get anything done. But the BMW is going side by side again into the entry into his detection box, but not able to get it done is Damien Mansell, still having to follow Leigh Perkins in the blue and white Porsche. For now, Tarab Bank still ahead of Chris Cooley. Cooley having a look at the inside. Tarab goes defensive and he gets to the inside. Oh, so close. So easy to hit the back of Mansell as Tarab there basically everyone got it stopped. And as I said, some of these newer drivers, they don't really care if you got a stake in the championship. They will fight you for the position. It's their chance to shine, and good on them as well.
Yeah, definitely. That was all hard and fair racing, so that's what we really want to see. I've been surprised to see Damiano Teccolini quite far back. It's in 19th position. I'm not sure if he doesn't like the track or somehow is not comfortable with his setup, but it's a bit of a surprise to see him so far back, even after the second qualifying session.
Yeah. Thank you to Stewards in chat, and the bot isn't seem to be working, but yeah, Viney did get a DT penalty for that collision that we saw at the chicane on lap 1, where he just unfortunately had a move and just piled into the chicane and hit 2 other cars and kind of led to a bit of a fight. But yeah, see Cooley really putting a lot more pressure back on Terrabang as they've dropped back a little bit from the other 2 BMWs. But it's so hard to get a move done here. Porsche, decent car, obviously the great exits they can get. See absolutely how all the cars just completely clatter into the ground, but some still manage to take it better than others, because Cooley got a good run now, potentially in the run down to hairpin to turn 8. Terab goes defensive again, and he's going to draw along around the outside, and Terab just does his line, and unfortunately Cooley not able to get anything done, and now Barker on the back of him as well. Be frustrating for Cooley right now, I have to say.
Yeah, that's just how hard it is to overtake on this track, even though with such skilled drivers. And he got a really good exit in that instance, but he just couldn't put his car ahead. And great defensive driving by Tarak Bank on the Porsche, really.
Oh, I think Cooley's just got him. I was going to say he had a good run out of the last corner, and he did go on the side, but Trab's still there on the side, and unfortunately he's really proving a form for Cooley right now as David Barker, look at that, and there's a touch on the back of the Porsche, and he catches it with a big slide, and still having a big slide as Cooley, and they're going to go 3 wide with David Barker going to be the potential winner,
Ellis,
and carrying Breno Ellis through as well, but this Breno's still got the Porsche on the inside, and he just filters ahead, and Cooley is still stuck behind the Porsche with now Aiden Squires is going to draw alongside Chris Cooley in the run down to turn 8, and Cooley's going to be really frustrated how that's all developed. It's really not gone his way.
Nah, definitely not. But yeah, unfortunately, just couldn't quite. Oh, and now Terrabang goes off, a bit of an oversteer, exiting T7, and yeah, loses a couple of positions. And now Cooley is ready to chase Ellis.
Yeah, I think Cooley might be in trouble. Oh, there's contact! And Jacob Weberman's off! There was contact, I think, from the BMW of Leigh Perkins, and even potentially more contact from Damien Magzalen, but unfortunately P2 has already gone off the track. Oh, commiserations for Weberburn. Well, these two still fight and still make contact between the two of them. Damien Magzal going for a half slide, but does catch it. But it's really going to let Dave Stevenson off the hook now. We're seeing a replay now. This is Terrabang. He he gets a hit from Cooley behind again. That's the second time in the same lap, and unfortunately that sends him to the wall. And I think that's definitely going to send Cooley in the gun sights of the stewards, that's for sure. Because I was going to say there was already contact earlier in the lap. That one was already looked like it may have been potentially a penalty incident. Not too sure, as obviously Terab did catch it, but unfortunately Terab wasn't able to catch that one and just was fired towards the barrier there. We got a replay here. Thank you very much to Ben. So they're going into the last corner, and everything looks fine. And oh, Leigh Perkins just hits the back of Jacob Weberburn there and sends him at the barriers.
That's unfortunate, and now yeah, the race is totally compromised for Wedderburn with his Mustang facing the wrong way. And now a great move of Cooley on Ellis at the hairpin, and it looks like the move stuck. Now Ellis is gonna get a good run on the inside. Yeah, he's gonna make a move, but now Cooley's got the inside, and now Ellis is under pressure from Squires, and now it's gonna be a 2 wide. Now they made it. Luckily they made it for T1 with Cooley making 1 position at the expenses of Ellis.
Yep. In all of that, Giacomo has also been given a 15-second penalty for a collision on lap 2 as well. You can see that there. I know that that's the driver very much in the danger for getting quali bans or very high on his penalty points. As Breno Ellis, did fight Cooley quite a bit, and Cooley did a pretty good send into the hairpin. But I wonder how much Breno is necessarily fighting Cooley, because you know Cooley's in a kind of a really hard position to make anything done based on obviously the race one and potentially those incidents in this race alone as well, because I think unfortunately Cooley, I think for the second incident with Turab Bank that sent him towards the wall is definitely going to not go in Cooley's favour. And that's what happened. Giacomo hit the back of Royak and completely missed what happened to Royak, and then goes for a half spin. Unfortunate for him.
Yeah, very tight space, but as you mentioned, Ellis is really in a very comfortable position now. He can afford not to fight for position. He's got enough points now to try to stay out of trouble if he can avoid it, and he's just being championship wise.
Pete Chalmers has got a penalty as well, the 10-second. There's unfortunately Chris Cooley with the fastest lap, 15-second for Chris Cooley as well. So I dare say that penalty has come through. Well, Mangzel and Leigh Perkins still fighting tit for tat, and there is potential touch as the Leigh Perkins goes for a half slide there into turn 2. Oh my goodness gracious, the stewards have got it all on to do right now. Chris Cooley goes around the outside as David Barker had to slow up because of those BMWs in front, but he's going to lose out potentially on the outside is the Aston Martin, and there's still potentially a bit of an overlap between the Ferrari and the Aston as they run now into turn 8. Breno Ellis is right there to wait, but there's contact and he fires at the wall!
Oh no, that's massive.
Gracious. I think that's the championship. I have to say, unfortunately, that's a huge damage to the front of the Aston Martin.
Yeah, he's back in the pits.
Yeah, I need to see a replay on that, but they came together on the braking zone for the chicane. We knew, I think Chris Cooley was probably driving angry with how things went this race, and not too surprised. So we see it, and he's coming across, and the Ferrari comes a little bit across as well, but he's right up to the grass line. Stewards, yours. I'm not touching that.
Nah, that's why they get paid lots of money, so they can deal with this situation like this. That's I think it was kind of triggered by Menskal and Perkins having a slight contact, and I think Menskal tried to readdress straight away, but lifting the foot, and that really bunched up the 4 cars, and that's how eventually Cooley got in contact with Barker.
I will say I was squeezed a lot on the entry to that corner, and I don't really know whether Cooley squeezed him or Barker moved towards him as well. I don't know. I'll leave that one to the stewards, frankly. I know a lot of people had a lot of bad or spatial awareness though on my race, because I got put on the grass, that's for sure, a few times last night from there. People need to make sure there's room given, to say the least. And it's Turab Bank fending off Mike Rosser right now and going to completely cut the chicane. Might be a steward's case in that one to redress that, because he kind of defended potentially by cutting the corner with Mateen just behind him as well. I don't know what to say, quite frankly, Dario. Big damage on the front of that Porsche. Not too surprising from that collision that we saw earlier in what happened, but yeah. There's a lot happening right now. There's so much happening.
You can't believe how long a 20 minutes race can be when you're racing in these conditions, and you can't wait for it to finish. Obviously Banks got some damage, and as he was driving there, he cut the chicane. He definitely got a track limits warning for that. But potentially leading into something else as he was defending position. Again, Perkins and Menskal are still fighting, and Ellis is slowly creeping in and putting pressure on them. Probably he's just had enough of them seeing them fighting, and see if he can make a move. You can't pass on the outside there. Now they're gonna go on the chicane. Seeing how things are going, I don't expect Ellis to risk an overtake on these guys. Tell me what you think.
So Leigh Perkins has been given a 15-second penalty for collision lap earlier, lap 5. So I guess that was between him and Mansell, and obviously lost the position to Mansell. Now Brennan Ellis going to go around the outside, and he brakes way early and going to let everyone through. And unfortunately, Leigh Perkins drops back all the way to P5 in all of this, and Brennan Ellis up to P2 from P10, and not P2, P3, and he's still got to deal with Damien Mansell. He tries to do the tries to do the dive into the, just trying to upset the driver ahead, but not able to get it done as Damien finally gets ahead of the Leigh Perkins after many laps. And of course, the Leigh Perkins penalty now, I just remembered obviously what happened with Webber. He hit the back of Webberburn at this corner many laps ago, and it did take out Webberburn, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's right. All while Stevenson is doing his own race, he's got a very comfortable 5.8 seconds lead, and I bet he's really enjoying the race at the moment, being away from all the trouble behind.
Absolutely, and all that. We'll see. Oh, there's lots of penalties. Be interested to see what the reverse top 10 grid's going to be for the next race, because obviously there's a lot of people in the top 10 right now with penalties, and they're all pretty bunched up. Aiden Squires looking at the back constantly at the Audi, and getting so close to the back of the BMW there. I'm not too sure if Brenner missed his braking marker, but Aiden Squires is going to have a run on him. Is a small amount of overlap. Will he have any claim to the inside? No, he does not. And Leigh Perkins getting very close to the back of the Mustang as well. There's definitely no one's out there not making mistakes. Everyone's having their definitely big moments, that's for sure. But Damien Mansell still holding out the front, and that could have gone very bad for Brennan Ellis there. It looked like he kind of missed his braking marker and just nearly got it, thankfully got it stopped and didn't go into the BMW.
Yeah, definitely. Probably too much excitement that he would like, but he's a race driver, so he's racing to win. He's not just racing just to be there. So that's what race drivers do.
Yep. So Chris Keeley is still in the garage with fastest lap, but I don't think it's going to make him feel any better. Damiano Fercolini now in P15. A big train of cars all being headed up, I believe, of Rosser in P11 right now. Rosser looking at a good chance to get into that top 10 with all those penalties. So a few of these drivers could potentially might make up the reverse grid pole position. They are in that area for some of these penalties to take effect. But you see, it's still a big fight for this P2, and everyone clattering the curb as well there. Definitely looks like Aiden can take it the best out of all these cars and drivers for now, but not able to get enough of a run done into the next corners, as Brennan just placing his car where he needs to be. And same to be said for Damien Mansell, but Dave Stevenson, still well up the field and doing a good job. 5 seconds to the lead right now, with a couple minutes to go to potentially get his potential first sprint win out there. As for a driver, he has the pro tag, but I think that's might have been a bit of an error, not to say David Stevenson, but he's it's a great stuff from a driver of his caliber as well.
Absolutely. So I think what happens, because I have a pro tag and I'm definitely not a pro driver, if you do not submit a livery, you risk to be in this position. That because I'm not using a custom livery, just using a race livery, but without submitting it, you risk to being classified in the wrong group. So that's why I'm racing under the pro banner as a Pro-Am driver.
Yeah, it's something I kind of need to get sorted out at the start of the season, and may have not resubmitted his. I think he does have clearly a custom livery right now. It may have been from a previous season, and may not get it resubmitted for the start. But make sure you get all that stuff sorted in about 2 or 3 weeks until the next season starts. So get your liveries made and everything, and get it all sorted out to avoid any issue. Looking good. Brennan Ellis still very much on the back of Mansell as Aiden falls away a little bit, but yeah, dare say Breno, oh, he's having a look at the inside. He's getting really, really close for someone who doesn't actually really need to take this risk right now. Whether he just wants to get past the BMW to get ahead and get away from Aiden in the Mustang. But yeah, clearly, obviously, trying to go for a move, understandable. But yeah, with two potential, obviously two decent results, and purely potentially scoring minimum points from these two races, unless he has the all mega last race. I don't think it's gonna. I think it might be going the way Breno Ellis is just on this race alone. Oh, as the car number 9 goes through a little bit of a spin. Oh, and Jacob Weberburn goes for a spin as well. Unfortunately, his day has not gone any better. And proof that the Mustang is definitely not as compliant as you think over those curbs.
No, definitely. That looked like a very serious crash. You just want to take your hands off the steering wheel when you have those crashes. And here is the move from Ellis, Klein chicane. He doesn't quite make it, and now he gets under pressure of Squires. I reckon he's gone. He's not gonna fight back. Yeah, he's happy. He tried to get a position, but he's probably fourth position is not bad after all.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Like, it's not really the place you really want to send it on another car. I wonder if he's just being caught out by Manxell's braking marker, but regardless, David Stevenson for PG Racing Team potentially going to take the first win for himself and for his team as well. For the great little guys, Matt Madden will be so sad right now not to call a race with his teammate taking the win, but David Stevenson is going to win race 2 of the final round of season 24 here at Zolder. Great job, ran it from reverse grid pole and is going to cross the line P1. Breno Ellis there doing a few weaves as well. I think he's quite happy because I think that's going to seal the championship for him. Doesn't matter if he doesn't do the last race. I think that's going to be the championship to Breno Ellis, that's for sure. But yeah, Damien Manxell doing a good job to hold down P2 as well in that race. And Nathan Squires getting up to P3, I believe, from P12 on the grid. So good recovery from him.
Yeah, absolutely. Working out all those penalties, probably. Who are we gonna see? Probably Bank potentially moving into the top 10 position. So there's definitely gonna be some changes from what we expect, and we just see who's gonna get out of the pits for the third qualifying session of the night.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a few drivers will feel spent after just 2 races, but we'll see how third race gets along. Obviously, be interested to see who does. Cooley is doing Cooley things. Not too sure what he's doing right now, other than damaging his car. I think he's just going. I think he is getting himself disqualified by reversing down the grid. I think intentionally. Oh no, it's still going. I don't know.
Yeah. Don't have an answer for that. Let's see how all the cars slip out of the pit lane for the third qualifying session. Giacomini leaves the pit now. There's still quite a lot of cars not out yet. Probably just doing the final touch-ups to the setup and adjust the tire pressure. It is the 3 p.m. now. I believe the temperature has gone slightly up, especially the track temperature.
Yeah, a little bit. We saw about 1 degree swing on for air temperature in split yellow between the races, which is kind of the one that you need to look at more than the actual track temp. To be honest, the air temperature is a bit more of a factor. But yeah, a little adjustments here and there between these races. This race starting at 3 p.m. and I think the race will be 4 p.m. Sorry, just qualifying starting at 3 p.m. I should say. But yeah, I don't think Dink Donk will be participating. He's disqualified himself from this qualifying session, so maybe he's going to see how he can go from the very, very back of the grid.
Yeah, might as well. And here we are. This is, I think, is I'm Gay Mercedes. Am I right? Yes, Anderson. car 16 as it goes around Sternbachbocht and turning into Kanalbocht. Fourth gear is going to shift down to third into Lucien Bianchi Bocht. Now in the little straight that leads to the Kleine chicane. Fifth gear down to second gear probably. It's gonna hit the inside curb and smash the second curb, but like a breeze with a Mercedes. I wish I could do that with a McLaren. Anderson navigates the second chicane and into turn 7 Terlamebocht.
And you don't want to say this one?
I was kind of leaving that for you, but I just enjoy this V8 Mercedes on the background. So I was just gonna enjoy a bit of rumble as Anderson goes to the last chicane into the final start straight and see what his lap will be. 129.5 first as the first person out of the pits. And Rosa goes first.
Doing a decent job out there. I think Ryan Anderson was race directing for us in Split Yellow last night. Did a good job as well under all the pressure, and I think he's done a fair bit of the championship as well. I'm not sure if he's done every race of Split Yellow. But yeah, did a good job for Ryan Anderson, all our race directors and all the volunteers, everything like that. You know, sometimes things can spill over and in the community and misdirection and frustration or how things go. But we are a community of volunteers to make this happen. It doesn't just sprout up overnight. And obviously, we're very grateful to everyone here. Obviously, broadcasters, commentators, stewards, race directors, admins, people do the data entry, the boys at the academy as well. Now obviously got Le Mans Ultimate, and obviously people for iRacing as well, which is not to single anyone out, but I believe Josh Holmes has been the spearing force on iRacing as well, and proved to be quite a very attractive, very popular championship so far, just in its infancy season, its debut season, sort of running alongside obviously with AC Evo, and I believe iRacing will get a very firm upgrade to being full-time for next season as well. I'm not too sure if those details have come out. And we've got the 4-hour enduro iRacing, I believe. It's going to be at Adelaide in April, I believe.
Or why Luca Giacomin takes the provisional pole with 127.6, pretty decent time, and looks like he likely will keep the first position. The other guys just don't have the right pace. Please prove me wrong. Choritos navigates the last chicane with his Porsche. He's in P4 now. He's up on his Delta, so there could be some positions gained, and he goes to second position, 7/10 behind Giacomin.
Yeah, I don't think anyone is going to be out there that can really keep trace of Giacomin. Anyone who's circulating, obviously, I think most of the quick drivers obviously finished within the top 10. Obviously, there's a few exceptions, but we'll see what Rosso, sorry, I called him Chris and a few other names. I do apologize. He's actually a Callum Rosso. I do apologize to you. Really is doing a fine job out there in his black Ferrari. Scott Rochford does improve. Goes up to P10 right now on a 29.2. John Charitos looking pretty speedy. Looks like, to be honest, we've seen him have a few incidents in both races, so hopefully he can just get a result on the board. Looking pretty good. Some good lines there through the Turn 7 complex in the Porsche. Not a bad car around here, I have to say. Not that I really know, but a few of the drivers I've been watching drive out there looks kind of decently consistent at the very least.
Yeah, definitely. And Porsche doesn't have the usual minus 30 kilos bop they find in other trucks, but it's very rapid getting out of the corner. So it's definitely on very windy tracks like this can be quite good. Charito's still green on the Delta, improves his lap time, but not his position. While we go and follow Turak Bank, who's running 5th at the moment with 2.5 tenths.
Good. A bit of a shallow entry into the hairpin, but does improve on his last lap. Kind of want to maybe lead the turn in a little bit later, but if it works for him, works for him. And definitely could jump a fair few spots actually with just this Delta in hand with how close it is up ahead. Berkeley just slots in behind him. Francis Sam just ahead of him by a couple of tenths. And he crosses the line, goes up to P3, and with a 28.40. So a decent lap there. Martin, though, with 2 tenths in hand, looks like he's about to displace him and going to take back over, potentially go to P2. No, goes to P3 for Abdul Martin. Brad Gosling now in the Aston Martin. I feel like I don't see too many Aston Martins, the exception of obviously Chris Cooley and obviously Dave Stevenson. Actually, take it back. Actually, there's a few Aston Martins out there, but a little bit squirrely there on the exit. 7 tenths in hand should put him close to Anderson and Buckerfield potentially if he can maintain this 7 tenths. Looking on the touch of 8 tenths. And a decent exit as well. It's going to be quite close. What will Brad Gosling get up to? He will go up to P10. Not bad.
Very nice. I'm back. Sorry, I had a bit of battery issues with my headset, but unfortunately, my son likes to use these headphones for games that are not ACC.
Car 313 has been disqualified. That is Luca Giacomin for penalty point exceeding or accumulation. Yes, Luca Giacomin has been involved in many incidents this season, and unfortunately, with that last incident in race 2, he has been disqualified from this race, from race 3 for exceeding penalty points. So we will not see that red Ferrari on your right to take the start, or we at least shouldn't.
Oh wow,
and
that's a big
just
one.
Disappeared. Yep.
Yep.
Been a hot minute since I've seen a car get disqualified from a race. But yes, that's news. I don't know how much we can talk on that still.
Well, I don't know. Now I know something that probably I should keep an eye out for. How many penalty points I get?
If you see a car in front of you, don't drive through it.
Okay, but what if I'm faster and I can't overtake him? What do I do?
Don't drive through it. There's a pedal there in the middle or on the left, depending on what setup you have, and a thing on the right that you can get your foot off that thing.
Okay, I'll figure something out.
As someone who got T-boned last night for someone not respecting yellows. No, hopefully you should know.
I got 30 seconds damage in race 1 and probably another 30 in race 3.
I mean, you're lucky you didn't have your hands on the wheel on a direct drive, because that could have been. That's the reason why the penalty was so big.
Yeah, I got exactly like close calls like that. Yesterday, I don't think it was like a very. I think there are accidents. Unfortunately, they are bound to happen, and I happen to be part of 2 or 3. But yeah, it is what it is.
Based on what Matt Powell's saying as well, that might actually be him gone from the season. I mean, it's the last. If you're gonna get it on the last race of the season, then it's. I mean, I don't know if that just excludes all his points as well, but we'll see. We'll see what happens if Luca Giacomin arrives for season 25, a new man. But yeah,
that's it. New map, and you can pick a new
if
car
there's a
too.
lesson to learn, this is a pretty big point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Clearly get Riley in, but to be honest, it's been a long time coming. Sorry, not sorry.
Are you gonna stick to the Lexus for the next season?
No. I don't know what I'm doing next season, whether I'm doing LMU or ACC or both. We shall see. Maybe I'll do GT3 ACC, or obviously.
Yeah.
Maybe P3s in LMP3s in the ELMS series for LMU. Because I kind of want to do prototypes, but I'm not sure if I'm consistent enough to do hypercars.
Yeah, I am pretty keen to try prototypes, but definitely I don't think I am of relevance high enough to be driving hypercars. So yeah, I'll be happy to drive P2s or P3s. And here they go, getting ready for the third formation lap. I believe that is the top 10 inverted, and yeah, being cold. I can't see Anderson. Oh, Anderson will be 10th. That's right. Sorry, losing the plotter. I'm on my second long neck of beer tonight.
It's quite okay. It's been a long night, and it's the last race. It's the last race for season 24, 1 of 3, and for tonight, and it should be an interesting one to go. I think everything's been decided, at least at the top of the championship. It's definitely on the way, I think, of Breno Ellis, unfortunately with that Q-League DNF. But well, hopefully that means everything's gloves off now. They can just go for no holding back at all.
Yeah, no holding back and no contact, as we see Lee Perkins leading Barker, Chalmers, Johnson. They're gonna line up in double file now as they bunch up and they slow down to 80 km an hour.
I think it'll be definitely want to watch Barker and Carl Johnson out of these, because this grid needs to bunch up a lot better. I don't know what the BMW and the Honda are doing, but they've left massive gaps and everyone's having to catch up now. This is a little bit shonky for the last grid, but I'll leave it to you to take the start.
No worries, as we see Lee Perkins. There is a few gaps to fill. Lee Perkins doesn't care. He's leading the field and he's going to have the inside corner as they take off through T1 and Perkins, Barker, Johnson, and the rest of the field looks like it go through cleanly as they approach turn 2. Underwood takes on the inside of Johnston. And looks like it done. Chalmers is secured in third position. What actually gets under pressure from Underwood as they approach the Kleinish chicane. Rossa goes in the rear view mirror, but there's no way you can put a move on there. Let's see how the rest of the field goes as they approach. There is 2 BMW wide and Lamborghini spinning, unfortunately, on last position.
Oh my goodness, nearly a massive crash between Carl Johnson there and Rob Underwood going into the gun, and there was contact as they run through the turn 5 to turn 6. But yeah, also close. But Rob Underwood getting a good start to get ahead of Chalmers. Squires there in P6 with Breno Ellis in P7 as well. Great to see you, Matt Madden, in the chat as well. Good to see you. Shame you're not here as well to egg on your mate Steve. There he is in the Pidgey car, race winner now. You can take that home with you, that's for sure. It doesn't matter what will happen in this race, that's for sure. Chris Cooley there at the back there. So he is out there circulating, seeing how much last to first he can go. But yeah, Aiden Squires now on the back of Pete Chalmers right now. And see how his goes on, but still Leigh Perkins out front ahead of David Barker and Carl Johnson. I think Parker and Johnson are really going to give Perkins a hard run to for this race, because they really do have the pace over him. We'll see how this one gets along. Not to discount Underwood as well. We've seen very good pace from that car, especially in qualifying. But we will see how things go on. Dario.
Yeah, definitely Underwood's got a pace. The Honda looks quite fast. It looks very bouncy going on the over the chicane, over the curb as they approach it now. And here is Aiden Perkins trying to make a move on the outside of the Porsche, but it doesn't go ahead. And once again is Breno Ellis and Squires fighting. They're all just trailing each other, and Chalmers gonna feel the pressure very soon of Squires as he moves into the mirrors just to put some pressure on him.
Yeah, for sure as well. It looks like Aiden did have a go into the Klein chicane on that lap, but kind of maybe late braked a little bit, and Chalmers kind of didn't really able to turn in the corner as maybe he would have liked, but they all survived. Barker and Johnson slowly closed in, with Johnson with the fastest lap so far, as he kind of gets away a little bit from the Honda. But as soon as these guys start to fight, as soon as they start to get bottled up behind the BMW, then everyone will start to concertina and get close again. The Ferrari up ahead, waggling its tail a little bit on the exit, trying to get the power down out of turn 2, but trying to get close to the BMW. But the BMW looks like still a decent car around here in terms of its obviously punch out the corners, as well as also through the some of the corners it's not too bad, and obviously the chicanes as well, with some of these front engine cars can take the bumps a lot better than the mid engines and rear engines, as Pete Chalmers got the Mustang all over the back of him again, with Brennan Ellis going to try and get involved in all of this as well. But it is going to be Pete Chalmers ahead into the braking zone, and there's a small touch there, and he nearly sends the Porsche around. That's a little bit silly, and Aiden just needs to be careful here. It's so close to spinning the Porsche around, and it would have been a big incident, but he is still going to be lined astern for P5, 6, and 7. Oh dear, I can hear Liberty right now.
That was a great recovery from Chalmers, then straightened the car up at the exit of the chicane and kept the position. Johnson is putting some pressure on Barker. I'm sure we're gonna see some moves happening here soon. Looks like the Ferrari is struggling a bit for clean air behind the BMW. Let's see how they manage these fast corners and high downforce corners.
Yeah, Rob Underwood now with the fastest lap as he closed up, as now Carl Johnson and Barker run out of clear air to do their pace, and they're now stuck behind the other cars ahead, and now Rob Underwood will be kind of feeling that as well. A replay here, I did see car 100 was yellowed at the chicane. He's got Roy Atkin behind him, looks fine though so far, but there's a little touch from the McLaren behind, and unfortunately sends the Aston Martin for a little spin. But a bad run there for David Barker, and absolutely just sends it, does Carlos Johnson, over the curb, and does already clear him and get ahead with a small contact as well. And Rob Underwood trying to make a move down into the turn 7 complex, but not able to get it done. But great move there from Carlos Johnson, just absolutely sent it over the curbs and just had the run on David Barker there.
He just had the authority, and he's just slammed the door shut on the chicane. He totally went and cut the first corner of the chicane, and then just completely shut the door. While now Underwood is putting some pressure on Barker, going into the Jackie X block.
One of the easier corner names, that's for sure. But yeah. Interesting to see now what Carl Johnson will do and how he'll tackle Leigh Perkins. But Leigh doing everything he needs to, with Robin Wood looking at the inside of David Barker. There is contact on the exit, and it's going to unsettle the Honda in particular. And now Pete Chalmers gets up the inside for turn 2, with Aiden Squires waiting in the wings to get on a run through now as well up the inside of the Honda. And like I said, you just start losing positions as soon as you're getting overtaken here. And now Brennan Ellis is going to try and capitalize as well. He needs to get a good entry line as they both run wide, and the Honda signs the grapple as well, and going to lose even more positions, I think, down to Mike Rosser and Mansell as well. So a big loss there from Underwood, all the way from P4 down to potentially P9.
Wow, that was massive. He really had to lift the foot on turn 1 after the contact with.
Oh, Carl, I think has just got
oh.
on the leader. Oh, and Mansell fighting with another BMW deja vu, but it's a different one of Mike Rosser at the chicane. But yeah, I think I just saw Carl Johnson get ahead of Leigh Perkins. He is ahead on track.
Yeah, wow, what a lap from Carl Johnson. Yeah, he off 2 cars in half a lap, really. So definitely got things his way.
Yep. To find out what happened there in particular for the lead change. Looked like it was going into the turn 7 complex, but let's see what happens as Mansell, yeah, stuck behind another BMW. He won't want to do this again. Oh, there's a Porsche in the background. No, I think that's the Porsche of John Charitos that's gonna find the exit of the last corner again. Oh, unfortunately, we say he's due a good race, but not too sure what happened there, but we're going to replay now. So this is what happens. So I'm guessing Leigh Perkins had a really bad run and a bounce through the chicane, and it's just going to let the Porsche there of Carlos get up the inside, and just a little touch under the exit, and I'm hoping Carlos kept that within the track limits.
Yeah, that was hard racing, and that's.
Well, Pete had to cut the chicane because Aiden was up the inside. I'm not sure which way that's going to go, but Brent Ellis is all over the back of him. But I feel like Aiden will call his number because he said he cut the corner to keep the position. Pete Chalmers will say, "Well, I had to cut the corner because he didn't leave me space." It's the classic case of what's going to happen now.
Yeah, I was well, I had no choice. It's either that or contact.
Oh no. Oh, Charitos, no. Oh, this is just all on his own. That's an unfortunate place to be stopped.
Yeah, happens to the best at the head. As we go, Squires still chasing Chalmers. Breno Ellis rubbing his hand, waiting for something to happen so he can reap the benefit. Oh, there's been a contact in the straight there. Bit of a tail wiggle from Squires.
Yeah, not too sure. I think Brenner is probably just enjoying the race right now. He doesn't really need to do anything, as he probably knows he's had the relief of probably the championship is well in hand. I think he's finished ahead of Cooley at this rate, going to finish ahead of Cooley for every race, and he was already ahead in the championship. So there's a little bit like going on the exit, and was a little bit of touch on the exit there, and a bit weird though. It looked like it kind of may have been a little bit the ACC, just a bit of net code as the Mustang just kind of stopped accelerating for half a second there. Not too sure what happened that one. Maybe that one's been called. Let's leave it at that. But Rob Underwood here said like he was right up there, but on the coattails of Carl Johnson. And look at the difference of how things can go in one lap. Carl up to the lead, and Underwood back down to P9.
As I was talking to my mates from my racing group after the race, there's a contact, and the BMWs are both sideways. The hairpin, what a shame. This is like a game of snake and ladders. You go up 5 position, you go down 10, you go up 5, and you lose them all within 3 laps.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, looking pretty good so far. So Pete Palmer still fending off from the Mustang. We'll see what happens, and obviously Stuart's probably got a lot to do right now. And fastest lap for Chris Cooley as well. So he's back down there in P16. Just kind of maybe just enjoying his race right now, as he knows it's probably a little bit over in terms of the championship. Trying to look at the rest of the championship, I think Pete Chalmers is vying for the silver. I mean, he is leading the silver championship going into this race, ahead of Abdul Martin, and I think he's had the measure of him all through the races tonight as well. And definitely with this people, 844 is yellow at the side of the road. I believe that is Damiano Fercolini. Not too sure what's happened to him. It's Cooley on the back of the Ferrari over Robert Buckerfield right now.
Yeah, Chris Cooley is making huge progress. I think he just overtook 2 cars in the last lap. Yeah, he's absolutely flying through the field, and I'm sure that he's enjoying the no pressure race now, knowing that the championship is gone, and he's just racing for the fun of it now.
Yeah, absolutely. And Pete Chalmers actually getting quite close to the back of David Barker, and it looks like Damiano just going very wide. And is he going to get a bounce in the spin? Yes, he is on the side. Unfortunate for him. I don't think he had the best Le Mans Ultimate race either earlier tonight, and unfortunately not gone to plan as well tonight. Unfortunate for him. Did a good job to commentate for the most part, pretty much every race in split yellow this season, along with George Sicanius. We do appreciate those boys out there doing everything they can. But yeah, still Brendan Ellis still behind Aiden Squires, so that maybe just biding his time a little bit right now.
Yeah, definitely not trying to risk. Is just probably waiting for something to happen. While we see the first penalty for Roy Anken, 15 seconds, possibly due to collision.
Yeah, that might have been. Who did he hit? He hit someone at the hairpin. It eludes me right now. It's these two slowly catching back up to Chalmers a little bit. I think it was David Stevenson, race 2 winner, who was hit by Roy Atkin earlier in the race, so we'll see a little bit to go through. David Stevenson, unfortunately, looks like he's gone back to the garage as well. Been a few retirements from this race, and we'll see how things go. It's still all quite close for this P3 battle right now.
Yeah, absolutely. As we follow Breno Ellis and Aiden Squires targeting Pete Chalmers for P4. Pete Chalmers being very solid there. It's been for the last 15 minutes or so, for 10 minutes. Giving those two a base. And as they target T4, and that leads into the Kleine chicane. A little bit of a gap for Barker. He doesn't need to worry about Chalmers yet as he goes over the curb. Nice and clean. And now a few more penalties came through. 15 seconds for Menskal, another 15 for Gosling, and a drive-through for Charitos. Not sure what they're due for. We did see a couple of BMWs sideways before, so probably one of them might be related to it.
Yeah, shall see. And going through just now. A few requests in chat as well for a replay on one. We'll see if Mr. Hignett can find that one a few laps ago. Looks like, oh my god, but I do appreciate it. Obviously, Mr. Hignett's been on the cams all night as well, doing a great job in LMU and in the ACC, and also obviously Glenn doing all his work as well to cover things off in the broadcast. Great job all around from everyone. See, Aiden Steyer still just on the back of the Porsche, just proving tricky to get things going. And I wonder if this one has a play on for that incident that we saw, like Pete having to cut the chicane. And we're going now. See how the Mustang gets a really good run. I'm not sure. I wonder if he kept that legal in the first part. He's got a really good run now, potentially going to the outside, but he's not. Is he gonna get that? No, he just doesn't have enough run to get the overlap to stake a claim into that corner. Understandably so, doesn't go for it. And Pete Chalmers holds down, still P4 right now. I'm not sure if Pete has enough in him to get past David Barker. There's a pretty quick driver, is Barker, but still late Perkins up ahead. And Barker not really making much inroad on the BMW either. While Carl is 4 seconds in the lead.
Yeah, the gaps have been fairly stable for the last few laps now, so we'll see how they go for the last 4 minutes in the race.
Let's get a I can see why that wanted to be replayed. Looked like there was a collision, like the Audi just drove through the BMW. At first it looked like there was some collisions, and then just there wasn't any collisions. And then I guess Mustang is back ahead. I wonder if there's been some interesting things happening. Any of these guys streaming right now that might be affecting their connection. I've never really seen that though, where a car just drives through another one. And these two, so yeah, the Mustang's getting moved by the Audi, and then it phases through. I'm really confused. But Aiden having another look at Pete Chalmers and the Audi just behind him there. I really don't know I don't know what to say about that previous incident. I've seen that before when I played F1 2021, and there was some desync problem, and cars would just drive through you, or but they couldn't see you. Which is many moons ago, but I haven't seen that in ACC. If there was connection issues, you usually see cars starting to lag around and act weird. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if Breno Ellis is letting back through, or the Mustang then reappeared back in front of the Audi. I'm very perplexed.
Looks like probably Ellis might have readdressed. I'm not sure if there was some...
I've just been told.
Yeah. Looks like he lifted.
Thank you to one of the stewards on that one. They did redress on that one. Probably because Aiden called his number, because he felt like he got barged out of the way, but there was a little bit more to it than just driving, to say the least. That was a weird one, because Aiden was right up on the rear bumper on the Porsche as well, so it didn't really have anywhere to go, and then the Audi kind of just weird, very weird. Kind of the weirdest thing I've seen all night. Oh, it gets so close to the entry, and you get a really bad exit, but the Breno had to slow up, but he's still got a decent run. He's got to draw alongside. Does he have the overlap? No, he doesn't, and he backs out of it. It's really hard to keep the run through that long sweeping left-hander, but yeah, really, I don't know if he was late on the brakes or just the difference in how he taxed that chicane, but unfortunately he wasn't able to get anything done and got away with not letting Breno through.
It was a bit of a Jetstar landing of Squires off the chicane, and really gave a bit of an opportunity to Ellis, but then Ellis was sensible enough just to pull off on the overtake. Ellis got basically nothing to gain and everything to lose, so sixth position for him, and it's very good news.
Here we get the stewards. There's DT for car 18 on that one. There's a lot of penalties going out. Five for car number 5 as well. Brad Cosling's got 2 15-second penalties on the same lap as well. That's impressive. 15 seconds for car 28 as well. That's Maxell. I think that was the one that we saw potentially turned around Mike Rosser in the other BMW. But yeah, Lee Perkins now a little bit under threat as Barker has caught him. But this is going to be the last lap as the timer hits 0 now, and is Carl in the head, and Breno drawing onside. But oh, Pete Chalmers again maybe under threat, and there's a small touch between the Porsche and the Mustang, but the Mustang's going to send it upside, and there's touch again, and the Porsche cuts the corner. Oh dear, that one's going to the stewards. Both drivers are going to be annoyed about that one. Oh dear, there was a little bit of a touch. There was more than a little bit of a touch, I should say. Breno's just going to file in behind again, as he's done all race. But yeah, one of the stewards was saying you thought that was done for the night. Nope, here's another one for you. But it is going to be Carl Johnson going into the last couple of corners for a great, taking the lead early on in the race from the reverse grid today, and is going to draw along the line and take P1 for Kovacs in the Polaroid car as well. Great job by him. Leigh Perkins P2, David Barker P3, Pete Chalmers P4, Aiden Squires P5, Breda Ellis P6, Underwood P7. Turab Bank, didn't really see him that much this race. Thankfully gets P8 after the unfortunate last race, and Cooley P9 and Abdul Martin P10. Oh, 30 seconds to Cooley. Yeesh. There's a lot of penalties, I think, still to be applied.
Yeah, what a race! What a night, really, with those. Yeah, absolutely, 3 races there. They definitely delivered what they promised. congratulations to Ellis for the championship win. Great driving, just say. Perkins tonight, like he got P2, but he has been very consistent throughout the 3 races. And yeah, good on him.
Yep. Yeah, he does take the Drivers' Championship. I think that's a pretty safe one to call. Obviously, everything is still provisional somewhat. A lot of penalties in the last race as well. 10 seconds for 67. That is Aiden Suarez. So that is, not sure if that was for that last incident in particular, but yeah, potentially might have been the case. But unfortunately, not gonna. I don't think Aiden's really had a good night all around. Definitely a lot of a lot of people walking away unhappy, I imagine, just like there was in our split. But yeah, dare say Breda Ellis is not one of them. But we'll go to race 1 results. It was Breda Ellis ahead of Carl Johnson, ahead of David Barker for the top 3 overall. Silver was headed up by Pete Chalmers, Manxell, and Perkins. Pro-Am was Ankin, Tarab Bank, and Pete Viney as well. Race 2 headed up by David Stevenson as well, Manxell and Aiden Squires for race 2. Silver, Manxell again, obviously, Rosser and Chalmers. And for Pro-Am in race 2, Tarab Bank, Anderson, and Ankin. Tarab's definitely getting a silver promotion next season. Race 3, Carl Johnson again makes it 2 pieces of silverware with the top step, followed by Leigh Perkins and David Barker. Obviously, Leigh Perkins will take out silver. Chalmers again. Chalmers has a pretty good night all around. And Abdul Martin as well, who gets P3 in silver. Pro-Am, Tarab Bank again, not surprisingly. Francis Sam and Pete Viney.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Well done to everyone involved. Yes, we made it through. Definitely was an exciting night. It was an exciting championship. I can't really find the class winners for the championship, but I'm sure you'll find them on the website.
To be honest, looking at it, I mean, obviously Brenner has probably won the championship based on everyone else everyone else that was close to him. Obviously, Keeley kind of had a bit of a mare tonight. Tarab Bank was leading Pro-Am by a large portion, and they kind of had some pretty good results tonight for the most part in Pro-Am, so I don't think that's going to change. And Pete Chalmers as well also kind of was the top finisher in silver for most of those races, and he had 44 points to Abdul Martin, and I think he pretty much comprehensively beat him every race tonight as well.
That's very safe to say then that he won silver. Yep. Well done, Kim.
Yep, well done to Tarab Bank as well. Good job all around. But yeah, that's gonna round off all our racing, all our weekly kind of sprint racing for season 24, and obviously season 6 in Le Mans Ultimate, technically I guess season 1 for iRacing. AC Evo, we don't talk about you, AC Evo. Goodbye, we're never looking at you again. Not for an immediate future, but it was a good trial to try out. But yes, next season's starting dates early April for all those pretty much things. Check the website, check the Discord. You know where to go, you know how to do it. Hit the like button as well, helps us kind of spread our message. And yeah, again, thank you to all the volunteers, thank you to everyone who races around, kept it all interesting. Good turnouts towards the end of ACC dying year, but we still got like 25 plus cars at the end of the season for both splits as well, to be honest. So I think ACC's here to stay for a bit. LMU's on the up, iRacing's on the up. I think we're looking pretty good for the next few seasons, Dario.
I reckon so, and can't wait for next season to start. I'll probably see you on the Duo League starting next week. Next weekend. Yeah, so definitely look forward to that, and the next season our sprint series.
Yep, that's been it from me, Cameron. This has been Dario. Thank you again to Ben Hignett as well, and just a shout out as well to Matt Madden and Liam Hamilton, who's normally commed to Split Red for the rest of the season. Unfortunately, unavailable tonight, but yeah, thank you everyone, and yeah, have a good night.